This is Bertcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's spiking. He's constantly spiking.
You introduced me to the spike, and now I'm starting to actually spike sometimes.
You spike all the fucking time. Your Twitter is probably one of my more enjoyable Twitters to log on to.
Thanks, man.
I get such a kick out of you it's like a Sam Tripoli quote, but flame-throwing motherfuckers.
It's like
it's, you know what it is? I said to someone yesterday, we were talking about Kevin Brennan was shitting on me on his podcast.
He's hilarious, though. That's the
the
whole point of the podcast.
So part of it you're like, oh, cool, I want to hear it. Someone texted me, so I called in, and he fucking flame-throwed me to my face.
Yeah.
And he's like, and you know he doesn't hate you. You know that he's just venting, saying probably what a lot of people are saying. You know, probably.
And he likes it when you flame him.
Oh, yeah.
Because his show is called Burning Bridges.
Oh, it's
great.
It was so much fun to listen to.
He talks shit about his brother, too, a lot.
Dude.
He's like, yeah, my brother wouldn't even... Neil Brennan, the guy created Chappelle's show, and he's like, yeah, my brother wouldn't even come to my baby shower. I mean, if I said Chappelle would fucking... He'd go to Africa on a rowboat. I'm like, that's your own brother. This is hilarious.
He makes me giggle. And I was saying to someone, I don't know, I said, we were talking about what is the thing that makes comics draws. Oh, yeah, I was talking to Mark Normand, I think.
That guy's hilarious.
He's great. And
his Twitter feed is so funny.
He's a funny motherfucker.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and I have a theory. It's a little bit... I think a little bit what I do sometimes is it's cutting the sleeves off your comedy. Would you let her out, Halston?
Such a good dog.
Cutting the sleeves off your comedy. I think to an extent you look at someone like Larry the Cable Guy is my example. Once he cut his sleeves off his comedy, everyone went, oh, I know that guy.
Right.
And in a weird way, I kind of did that. When I took my shirt off and that clip went viral, I think I got recognized the other day at the airport and this girl goes, oh, I didn't recognize you with your shirt on.
That's hilarious.
And so part of me welcomes that. I don't mind that entirely. I don't have a problem with being identifiable as long as your brand is good, as long as what you do is good. And you and Kevin have done almost the opposite. Is you've sewn sleeves back on your comedy and you're like, no, fuck this. I'm going to be 100% honest with everything.
Yeah.
And it's and in an art form where we all claim to do it, it's so refreshing. Even though people, I don't agree with you all the time, but
no one agrees with anyone all the time. We're not clones.
It's like, I still fucking love the guy. Like, I don't.
But I'm still wicked defensive of people I like. That's the thing. It's not like I'm just I just shit on people. It's like if I like somebody, I'll go to war for that person for no reason. That's why a lot of the people that follow me are now call themselves the Unbearables, and they call me Big Bear because the archetype is that it's that I'm a bear. Like I'm really like, yeah, but then also like, oh, belly rub, honey. Like it's not like I'm like mad or not mad. It's just like I'll go with emotions. And I was talking to Jordan Peterson. He did my podcast recently.
I've got to, can I tell you this? I regret that I do not know anything about Jordan Peterson.
Oh man,
because I'm sure I've heard of him.
Bro, you personally are gonna love it.
Who is he? The professor?
Professor who refused to do the pronouns.
I know Oh wait,
he's number one author in the world right now.
He's not from Evergreen.
No, that's Brett Weinstein.
I know
my
Brett
boy
Weinstein.
Too. Brett's awesome.
Is Jordan Peterson out of Canada?
Yeah.
I know Jordan Peterson.
He's amazing.
Dude, he's fucking really great.
Yeah, he's just this archetypal legend. He's all about the art. He's like, well, you got to save your father from the belly of the beast. Like everything's about an art. Well, you gave me good advice last time we talked where you said, do exactly what you want to do. Like say what you like and it's just go from there. And that's what I'm doing. I don't have a censor. And I think people pay comedians to hear honesty where they just go, because my slogan was always, I might be wrong, but I'm not lying. Yeah. So whatever I think right now, I've been wrong. Like one time I thought that a Funny or Die parody was real, and I freaked out about some bullshit. And it's I'll just go with it. But it's like I'm not lying. And so people literally will pay you money to just hear someone who isn't lying to them. And I just did Burlington, Vermont, great comedy club up there. And it's the heart of soy country. And I'm not that. And so, I told him that Bernie Sanders is basically Bane. It's like, all you people deserve everything you've ever wanted. We'll take it from the 1% who have had enough. and you morons will vote for me. There was a bomb in Gotham, you know, and they're at first they're like offended, and then by the end they're clapping and they're going with it because even though Bernie Sanders lives there.
Yeah.
And I'm mocking them for soy. I'm like, I would eat your soy, but I don't want my cock to fall off, you know? And by the end, they're like, it doesn't matter if we disagree with him. He's not lying.
Yeah.
And that's what comedy is.
It really is. And I think, you know, I can tell you right now, I am super guilty of biting my tongue. I am super guilty.
Yeah, but you're so obvious when you're biting your tongue that it's almost charming. Like, you'll literally be like, look over at Bert, and he's like, it's like we know you're biting your tongue.
I am horrible. Like I've written tweets getting ready to light someone up, and then I go delete. I don't even want to get involved in that.
Well, I have a bunch of friends just like you that will like text me how much they like my tweets.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They won't retweet. I get it all the time. Like a lot of times there's like a level of fame where somebody doesn't necessarily want to be associated with a bear during a torching session, but they like totally love what I'm doing. And they're just like, dude, of course. Like, you know, this is hilarious. They're like, sorry, I can't retweet you, Big Bear, but I'm on the CW right now. I'm like, I get it. I'm off the grid, but just enjoy the Bears torchings.
It's so funny because, like, you know, people will say to me at my shows, they'll go like this is the most famous one, and it's my favorite one ever. Is that people will say to me, dead serious, hey man, why are you friends with Ari Shaffir? And I go, are you being serious? And they're like, he's really unlikable. I go, yeah, but I don't know him. Like, I know him. I really genuinely know. Like, I've known him for a very long time.
Yeah.
I really love the guy. And they're like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I'll give him a second chance. And I go, hold on. You're just basing what you know off of him on the internet as opposed to what I know as him as a man and, like, who I talk to regularly and have had long car rides and sat outside his apartment in his car for an hour and a half just talking.
I love Ari.
Yeah.
I've known him too since the open mic days.
And I go, oh, and they do the same thing with you. They do it with Tom when Tom got in all that beef with.
See, that's the thing about the torchings. I went to war for Tom, and I don't even hang out with Tom just because I like Tom.
Yeah.
Like someone was trying to talk shit about his new special, and I just, you know, tweet after tweet. I'm just like, just torching it because it's like, it's not about shitting on people. It's just about saying what everyone wants to say and can't.
It's you know, I just had a conversation with my management about this joke I have in the middle of my special that they don't. It's 40 minutes into my special, and they're like, I mean, the first 40 minutes is fucking awesome, and they're like, They go at 40 minutes. You have a joke where I guess I won't say it because I want you to hear it on the special, but it's about the word cunt.
Great word.
And they're like, I think, you know, you'll lose some people. I go, if I lose people 40 minutes in, if they're on the fence 40 minutes into watching my special,
cut the dead weight.
I want them gone.
Bro, in Burlington, 2 Marines drove down from Maine to see my show, and it was like oversold and there were people waiting and they couldn't get a table. So I go on stage for the first 10 minutes. All I do is shit on Burlington until a couple gets up to leave. And I go, finally, my boys can come in. And I told the crowd, I go, you realize this whole time I've just been trying to get some dead wood to fucking burn away. I'm like, I want someone easily offended to leave so that these Marines can come sit. And then everyone clapped.
Oh, there was a girl that walked out of my show in Portland. Because I talk about my kids a lot, but I'm not. But it, in it, like, and
she's
I
like,
think,
as someone who's had 5 abortions, I'm offended.
Oh, I talk of it in a very honest way about my kids.
Yeah,
like I don't really cut corners. Same about my wife, my dad. Like I'm really pretty honest, and then maybe a little too brutal, maybe a little too honest. And she goes, "Eat your young, why don't you?" And walked out.
What does that even mean? Eat your young?
I guess I have no fucking idea, but she was a Portland liberal, and it's like, and one of those unbearable fucking liberals where you're like,
right.
Like I ran into one on the ski slope.
Oh, they're leftists. I did a whole video called "Why I Hate the Left."
Oh, that's gotten huge,
hundreds of thousands, yeah. And so, because the whole thing is, I'm like, my dad's a liberal, and I argue with him, but we love each other, and I respect it because we have the same goals. A leftist doesn't have the same goals. They want the whole fucker to burn. They're like, gender doesn't mean a thing. That tree could be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Postmodernism, that isn't the same. Like liberal conservative discussions are great. That's what America's founded on. But
that's what I didn't
like the communists are postmodern nihilists. They believe in they're like right out of the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. It's one of the things that I don't get about. Maybe I don't get it about either extremes is when they go, no, I disagree. I want you fired.
Well, the beauty of that is they're losing now. Like, look at me. It's like, they're like, oh, you're problematic. You're blackballed. It's like, oh, well, it's weird because now I'm making a better living and it's expanding exponentially because they're starting to they're cutting off everything. They're like that bitchy girl in high school that just kept cutting friends until she was alone.
Yeah.
It's like how far you have to go now to be on the leftist side is nuts. Like 3-year-old trans kids and like everyone's the same. And the only reason that people have different amounts of wealth is because of oppression. No, I've read the Gulag Archipelago, guy. We're not going down that road. Yeah, I won a Nobel Prize. Not exactly fake news.
That's the other thing about you is you are like I am. One of the things my dad taught me very early in my life is you're a moron. Shut your fucking mouth. Like
you're not a moron. You're a very intuitive man.
Yeah, I'm intuitive, but I do say things without any research based on like what the fuck's that? Like I remember
I call it instinct math. I do it with my wife. I'm like 16 and a half. She's like, "Do you know that?" I'm like, "Instinct math."
I did it with the first Gulf War. I came in and I go, can't believe you're watching this fucking war shit. I'm so against it. My dad goes, you're a fucking idiot. And I go, no, I'm not. And he goes, I'm like 16 years old. He goes, go to your room and don't come down until you realize why you're a fucking idiot. So I'm sitting in my room going, why am I an idiot? Like, this is what happened in the 60s. The kids want to protest. The parents don't want to protest. My dad's a conservative. I'm a liberal. And my dad comes up. He goes, have you figured why you're an idiot yet? And I go, yeah. I go, you're a conservative. I'm a liberal. That's all it is. And my dad goes, I'm the biggest liberal you'll ever fucking meet. He goes, you have any idea what this war is about? And I go, no. And he goes, so you don't know what the war is about? You just protest war. I go, yeah. And he goes, did you know that there is a genocide going on and he's killing people in his own country? I said, no. And he goes, did you know that's what Hitler did? And I said, no. And he goes, did you know that we're standing up for the people that are oppressed? And that is why we're going in. I went, no. And he went, all right, come down and let's watch news together. So we watched the news and I was like, well, this war seems pretty justifiable.
Oh my God. It's the same with like the gun stuff. Like at first I didn't understand. Well, because my whole family are all like conservative rednecks type. And then my parents are like professor liberals.
Yeah.
So it's this weird duality I have in my family where I think my instincts were always right wing, but I was raised left wing.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, yeah, guns are bad, but why? I feel like really owning one.
Oh.
It was almost like genetic. And then I would like argue the side against guns. And then, but I'm open-minded enough where someone explained to me that it's a disarmed population is easy to be taken over by a tyrannical government. And that's why it's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
It's to protect yourself from the government. And Ben Shapiro, when he was with that British guy that's so douchey. What's that guy's name? Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
And Piers Morgan was like, but Ben, you really think the government is ever going to come at its own people? And he's like, yeah, my grandparents are ash from the Holocaust. So yes, I do.
My grandparents are ash from the Holocaust.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, Germany did it to everyone in my family. Like, you fucking asshole. Of course, governments always do that, and they always disarm the population right before they do it.
So what is it then when someone like myself, who I think I lean less conservative.
You lean
probably,
right. And you're liberal in a lot of ways, but like everyone is now right because the Overton window has gone so left.
It's gone so left that I cannot ever agree with what happened at Evergreen State
Exactly.
University.
You're right.
I can't ever agree with that. I can't agree with idealistic children who are putting out ideas out there that just aren't grounded in any substantialness, like who haven't lived a life, who haven't experienced a life.
Exactly.
And I go, but I'm also like the whole thing that happened, and I won't bring up anyone.
I'm an open book, man.
I know, but I'm afraid of that guy's name. I don't want to get him involved.
Fine.
But the guy, I don't think he's a comic. I think he's a podcaster who's doing replacement therapy on his kid.
Yeah.
Like, part of me goes,
I lost my agent and manager over that guy.
yeah.
Cheers to that guy. Sick fucker.
I heard that, and I was talking to Dr. Drew, and both of us were appalled that you would do that to a child.
It's abuse on the worst possible level.
But part of me also says, all right, look, really, honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If you want to do that to your kid, that's what you're going to do to your kid. I think the state should step in. I think someone should be like...
I think it's cultural. See, that's where I'm libertarian and not always conservative when it comes to legal matters, where it's like, I don't want to give the government more power to do shit. It's like, your life is your life. I'm not going to legislate your life. But but culturally, we have to all know that that's fucked up and that there should be shame involved in that. 3-year-olds act out their brain. I know a lot about like neuroscience and how people form. And it's like, you act out various things. And if you act out wearing a dress or like my son right now loves to dance and like go like this. Does that mean he's gay or not even gay, but like a girl?
Oh, secret time. When I was in probably before first grade, one of my favorite things in the world to do, this is hardcore secret time. This is something I think maybe only my mom knows.
I love it, dude. I'm in.
I used to like to put on her high heels and strut like a woman and go, "Hey, big guy."
Hell yeah.
I used to love it. I used to do it a lot. And I'm sure my mom was probably like, I'm sure she was like, "Oh, maybe he's gay. Maybe," I don't know. Whatever it was,
you're acting out the concept. That's what it is. Like, kids can't have that they don't have the brain capacity yet to like think abstract things. You have to physically do them to understand what it means.
I don't think I really realized my sexuality until I was at least 10. I only say that because I remember being in our new house and saying,
I thought I was gay till around 10.
I didn't know what gay or straight was. I mean, we didn't have any reference for gay, and when I was, but I never saw gay. I didn't know there was such thing as gay.
My piano teacher was transsexual, so I was like off the bat knew a lot more than I should have about everything.
What's the joke you have? A great time to come out of the
It's
closet.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah, because that's true. I had a female piano teacher that became a dude, and so on Halloween she came as like a dude, and I was like, no way. And then by Thanksgiving we had the talk that Lucinda was now Larry, and we're still friends. Like, that's the funniest thing is during all this controversy with me, Larry was like, do people not know Owen's like really fine with trans people? Like, we're buddies after like 30 years. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, you don't get that this is about leftism. It's not about trans people. Trans people have come to my shows and been like, I love your comedy. I have a joke called Trans People Ruined Everything. But like, a lot of trans people are more like libertarians, and they're so sick of the LGBT bullshit that they don't want to be treated as the next rung of the outrage Ponzi scheme for the state to get more power. That's what it is. It's not trans people. It's saying the state has a right to legislate your language. That's what Peterson was arguing. It's not that he won't say certain things. It's just he has to be able to choose it. Because once you open that up to the state, they never give it back, and they keep going until we have no more free speech. And that's happening right now in Canada. He was right about all this shit. He was a year ahead of time. Now that
what's going on? Yeah, what's going on in
Lindsay
Canada?
Shepherd recorded, she showed a Jordan Peterson, by the way, who taught at Harvard. This is not exactly just some asshole. And showed a video of Jordan Peterson, and he's a kind man, very kind. And they brought her in and said basically, like, you can't do that. You can't show him. And they just kept saying, like, inclusivity, equity. If you hear the tape, because she recorded their audio.
Who is she?
Lindsay Shepherd. Now she's like a rock star. Now it's like people... Because people are drawn to people that plant a flag for their values.
So who is Lindsay Shepherd? Is she like
She was a TA. She was a teaching assistant at a college at Marriott College.
Yeah.
It's like Marion, Anyway, so and she risked a lot to expose these people. And you see that they really are trying to, it's dystopian. They're trying to limit speech. And as a comedian, that's it. And I tweeted the other day, I'm like, I didn't even care about politics until they ruined comedy and made it so I can't do men and women are different without hate speech accusations.
Oh, dude.
Like, I was the most chill comic. It's like Crowder talked about that in the last Rogan when he's like, dude, Owen was always just like really happy-go-lucky. And then all of a sudden he took a turn because I started getting shamed. I'm talking about how men and women are different and people are calling me hateful. And I'm like, I went from hacky to hateful in fucking 6 months.
Hacky to hateful.
And then I'm like, all right, looks like I got a war to fight here, so I can just go back to how men and women are different.
It's so bizarre to me that they want that people. I don't know. Maybe I guess I am more probably libertarian because
No, totally. Most comedians are libertarian in my opinion.
Because I'm definitely not like I really don't give a fuck. Like I don't give a fuck about a lot of shit. But what really fucking irks me is when people try to step on people's right to speak. Like
that's then you're not on the left. You can't. That's their whole thing. Is words are violence. That's literally their thing now. So like that's when people say they're liberal. I'm like, okay, 2008. I'm like, that's changed, man.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem. Like I personally don't have a problem limiting my speech the way I talk.
But it's your choice.
It's my choice. Yeah,
that's the whole thing because that allows people to know where you stand. It's just like I want people to be able to fly a swastika, so I know who is an asshole.
Yeah,
it's like speak your mind.
I saw a video yesterday of the guy who runs the White Nationalist Party.
Richard Spencer.
Yeah. Arguing with a black guy. And what irked me about it was not that Richard Spencer has ridiculous fucking ideas.
Right.
But
he's a race socialist.
But that the black guy knew he was in the right for almost everything he said, but he wouldn't just have the conversation with him. Like I was like
Richard wouldn't?
No, that Richard was totally having a conversation with him, but he was telling him his viewpoints. His viewpoints are asinine.
Yeah,
black people should be very grateful for slavery.
Right.
You're like, well, but you know what's so funny is that Patrice had a bit that Richard Spencer was doing. He didn't realize he was doing it.
Right.
Patrice's bit was, and I'm going to bastardize it, so don't think that I know Patrice's bit verbatim. If you ever heard it, you're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But Patrice's bit was, thank God for slavery. Do you think I want to be in Africa in a pair of sweatpants, dragging a machete with a wig on?
Hilarious.
And he's like wearing a Michael Jackson shirt with fucking fucked up Jordans, starting a war.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm fucking, I'll whatever my grandparents had to do, I'm fine with it. I'm here. I got fucking nice clothes.
Yeah.
I drive a Denali, like.
Yeah.
That was his bit. That was bastardized, obviously, but it was the premise Richard Spencer was doing. But this black guy, I was so frustrated because I was like, don't get emotional with him.
Right. That's how you win. That's how they
go
win.
Logical.
That's why I debate white nationalists all the time on Twitter. If you just say like you're evil, you're a Nazi, it almost like makes it interesting for other people. Because I'm not thinking about people on the sides. I'm thinking of like young people just looking at the marketplace of ideas, wondering what everything means.
Yeah.
And so if you just say you're bad, don't talk, that's intriguing to people. It's called the Streisand effect. When Barbara Streisand, someone took a picture of her house and like 10 people total saw it for some stupid photographer and she sued them. And then millions of people saw the house because it was the opposition that made people go, oh, why don't people want me to see this house? So that's why I just openly debate them. And I'm like, it shows the silliness of their actions. And white nationalism, I actually warned people about it when Beyonce did the Black Power thing. It's like, okay, if you do black identity politics, you open the door for white identity politics, and that's now happening because their thing is if black people can have pride in their race, then we can too. And that's weak. I like to talk in a language that people understand. It's not like that's problematic. It's like you're a pussy because you're taking pride in something you didn't earn. And then people are like, "Oh yeah, that's not a real man." It's like, no, being white isn't something you earned.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what weak people do. And then when you put that on the, and I'm like, if you're defined by your enemy, you're weak. Because white nationalism is a response. Because it's like white people in general, we're kind of over that shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all this like, I drink white tears and like white people can't speak and all this shit. And then they're like, no, I'm going to have pride. It's like, no, stay you. If you're defined by who hates you and you overcompensate like scar tissue, you're fucking weak.
Yeah.
Like that's what scar tissue is. You get hurt and then your body overcompensates by putting more skin above it. And that's why you can see a scar. And that's what white nationalism is. It's like, instead of the meritocracy that makes America amazing, where it's like the best person for the job, it became this, well, we need a black left-handed lesbian. And then the whites were like, well, then I want white pride. And it's like, no, fight that idea, but don't become that idea. That's what Richard Spencer is. You take all the shit of the left and then you just become it to fight it. And then everyone loses. Then now we're divided up in races, this arbitrary class of bullshit. And then no one wins.
So in a perfect world, and I this is what is, I guess, and I get really worked up now about cultural appropriation because I don't like the Kim Kardashian with the Bo Derek braids. I don't really see that being cultural appropriation. I see her saying this. I got my hair done like the thing that this is what I saw.
Of course,
not going. Oh yeah, I was my. She fucks Kanye. She's only fucked black guys. She's not racist.
Yeah, but see that even buys into their shit if you have to justify it. Like,
if you have
like
to
I'm a
justify
quarter
it.
Jewish and my wife's half Mexican, but I never use that in arguments because that oddly buys into their bullshit. Where it's like, oh, I have a pass because
Bill Burr never once on stage, never once mentions his wife's black.
The funniest shit is, like, I know, it's hilarious.
Never.
No, because that
like that. But by the way, that does not register to Bill.
Same with
he
me.
fell in love with a person. He didn't fall in love with her so he could leverage it on stage.
No, I would have went black if I could have done that. Half Mexican, come on, and she looks pretty white too, so I'm a little fucked.
Oh my God! Did you hold on? I want to go back to this, and then I want to go. I find cultural appropriation in things that people see. I find it in things people would never see it in. Where I go, I won't buy into when the far left goes, that's cultural appropriation. Like when they go, oh, that's not that. I buy it when, like, with Christian couples, I won't say their names, so I don't want to get them in trouble, but I've talked about them in the past. They're my favorite thing to watch in the world, and they're a Christian married comedy couple who do cruises based on your marriage, how to rejuvenate your marriage and bring laughter into your life and bring the Lord into your life. They are not racist at all. They don't have a racist bone in their body. I can promise you that. They are good Christians, like legit good Christians.
Yeah.
Their comedy is horrific. Their sense of humor is questionable.
Yeah.
But anytime they have a punchline, they don't realize they're doing it, but they do a black person's voice. So like they'll be like, oh, what's like they'll be like, we're gonna have breakfast up in here.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. This breakfast isn't bad. We're getting turned up.
That's so funny.
And it's like,
dude.
I go, you're missing out. Like you're taking an identity of a culture and plugging it into where you believe, not in a bad way, in where they believe comedy should be inserted, but they're doing the black, like, just be yourself.
It's adorable, though.
It's fun. I fucking hate watch them all day long. I love it.
I like to accuse people of cultural appropriation for negative things, where if it's like, I was homeless for a year. I'm like, oh, you culturally appropriated black culture. It's like, I'm a crack addict. Dude, that's cultural appropriation. That's what the blacks do.
Dude, I see it in things on TV all the time. The other thing I see...
No, but that's like a way to give props. Like, I have a whole bit about wearing a sombrero during Halloween, and some like little house cat was like, that's their hat. And I'm like, well, you drive a Subaru. That's a lesbian's car, And then I keep going until the punchline is basically that like the sombrero, if anyone needs a sombrero, it's the whites because we're pale. And the Mexicans, they don't need all that brim. And the whitest people are Jews with no brim. And I'm like, so I think Mexicans and Jews should switch hats, and that's how we end skin cancer. It's this long rant.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it would almost be like a Chappelle race trait. Remember that bit, that sketch he did?
Where they did the trade wars
Yeah.
where you picked races?
Or imagine if Comedy Central still had any balls except for South Park and they had a show like that. Now it would be cultural appropriation trade, where it'd be like, all right, blacks, so the whites have democracy, capitalism, planes, the internet, TVs, cell phones, and you guys have peanut butter. What do you guys want to do? It's just like absurd, and I would never think that way, but if you think, like, the Chinese have gunpowder, and then the whites are like, well, I could eat a sandwich with just jelly. I don't eat the peanut butter. Yeah. It's like, it's ridiculously stupid to think that way. Because what makes America great is like, you invented socks, I invented shoes.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
The one thing that I feel, this is a super slippery subject that I am not going full in on. I'm just telling you based on my experience.
I'd go full in.
I know. But the reason being is I don't know anything.
Totally.
But I feel like the gay culture has been biting their tongue on the thing Milo Yiannopoulos got in trouble for. And that is, I've heard, we have a few friends that are gay that are maybe aren't out of the closet, but I remember one of them telling me about his first gay experience. And I remember being a little appalled because he was like 16 and the dude was like 25. And I remember thinking, wow, like that, and it was in a locker room. And I was like, holy shit, like I can't imagine fucking a 25-year-old woman when I was 16. And then Milo said, a lot of times these older gay men will shepherd gay. That's what Milo said, and I heard both these
Happens
things.
in LA all the time.
And then and I've heard a lot of people come out and talk about it. And then they did that movie that Armie Hammer was in, where it kind of went under the radar that he was fucking a young boy.
Yeah.
And everyone celebrated. And part of me is like, hold on, hold the line. Let's hold the line. If you're gonna say that. That ex celebrity, I won't say their names, but ex celebrity who
Kevin Spacey.
Well, no, that's for the gays, but like for the straights, ex celebrity who courts a 17-year-old girl online. James Franco did it, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's rape." Well, then toe the line across the board, and just everyone come out and be honest. Tell us about what's really going on. Because I feel like I've heard the rumblings of something that gay men that I know have been very open and honest about, but are biting their tongues because they're like, fuck, I don't know if the world's ready for this.
Yeah.
So part of what I want is like, let's just be across the board honest. Like, I thought it was creepy. There was a girl when I was growing up, when we were like 16 years old, she was dating a 25-year-old dude. I thought that was fucked up. I thought that was legit fucked up.
Yeah.
Now, granted, 'cause I wanted to fuck her, and I was like, why does the old guy get to fuck her?
Right.
Like, how come I don't have fucking, I can't rent a car or whatever the fuck you could do.
Why don't I get a Civic?
Yeah, I was so jealous. And her mom was cool with it. Everyone's mom was cool with it. By the way, I didn't have sex with her. I didn't even kiss her, to be dead honest with you, but I took out on a date a girl that was 15 when I was 18. And that was like totally accepted back then.
I didn't have sex till college.
I lost my virginity when I was 17 to a 17-year-old.
Nice.
Yep. And then didn't have sex again because it was such an atrocious experience. Didn't have sex again until I was 18, and she was 18.
I had a lesbian girlfriend in high school because I was attracted to women that understood humor. And back then it was pretty much just lesbians.
Wait, hold on. Okay, I have a theory about this because I've dated a lot of lesbians.
Yeah.
And I've always gotten along better with lesbians.
Yeah.
Like I've always felt like they've had a better sense of humor.
Totally.
Dude, I dated a girl.
Like the female comics, like some of the lesbians are some of the funniest comics in the world.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I don't find a difference in. I think women are just as funny, but I will definitely say
they don't have the drive to do it on stage with a microphone unless they want pussy. That's like one of the main motivations when you start off in comedy. Well, it's like that's why like
mine was the no drug testing.
That's hilarious. No, but it's peacocking. Like my wife is legitimate, and I'm not saying this. I'm not cucking out.
Yeah.
Legitimately funnier than me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
No interest in doing it on stage because she's just. Like women are more valuable. It's like they know that the cock comes to them no matter what. She's a beautiful woman.
Someone just said this.
It's like a dude, no matter if you're good looking or if you have money, you still have to prove some shit. You have to kill a dragon.
Yeah.
So like that's why, because it impresses women. If you go on stage and do some scary shit, women go, "Oh, that's great," and that's why lesbians a lot of times just get more stage reps.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at primary motivations,
I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite comics from when I started was Wanda.
Yeah,
and lesbian. I mean, I'm not
Dude,
trying to prove or disprove.
Hilarious, lesbian.
Dude, you know what's so funny? I was shined pretty hard by Fortune Feimster when I first met her. I was talking to Marin about this the other day, and she got off stage, she destroyed.
Oh, she's a crusher.
And I was like, oh, Jessica Curson, fucking. Is she gay?
I don't know her.
She's definitely gay, I think. She murders.
Yeah.
Fortune Feimster comes off stage, and I was like about to go on stage after her, and I was like, oh my God, you are fucking. I might have said, and by the way, I don't know what I said, but I might have said something. I might have said, dude, you're funny. Like, and then she assumed I thought she was a guy.
No, she's not like that.
But I was like, dude, you are fucking hilarious. And she really kind of blew me off, like, yeah, and walked past me, and I went, okay. And
that's hilarious. That's what Aziz did to me, and then I hated him for years.
He did the same thing to me. He was an
He did that to me 3 times. Then when I was with Vince Vaughn, he was nice to me. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, go on.
I'm interested to hear your take on Aziz, but so I was like, I always kind of was like, I'd see her out and she would never, like, you'd be at the club, she would never say hi to me or anything. And I was like, what the fuck? Because, see, I only saw her as the person who crushed on stage with all that confidence on stage. I figured that's who she was.
I got a funny fortune story for her.
And then I listened to her on WTF, and I was like, oh, this is a person who's also had a very interesting life, a very difficult life at times.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so here I am taking a very probably cakewalk experience through life that I've had, throwing all my experiences and assuming she's had them, say hi to her, and she's like, probably thinking, I have run into guys like you my whole fucking life. I'm gonna take a pass tonight. I'm in a good mood. I don't want to fuck with it. And
right.
and you know, and I was like, fuck, I've been reading her wrong the whole fucking time.
No, she's salt to the earth, man. And like, we disagree on politics and getting legitimate arguments, but like, again, shared goals. So I think I respect her. But like, so one time she invited me to her birthday party. We both did Josh Wolf's CMT show at the same time, and we like broed out hard. And she was just such a sweetheart. And she's like, come to my birthday party. And I was like, oh, cool. So it's like, I might as well have been 9 years old, right? So it's at a gay bar in the Valley. So my wife's like, you should make her a card. So I make a card, like a happy birthday card. And I'm like excited. Like, I actually like feel like I'm in a community. It's not just Los Angeles. Like, I'm going to bring a card to a friend's birthday party. And I go there, and by the time I get there, everyone's just like blacked out, just like, and I'm just holding this card. And I'm like, and I just went home. I almost like felt like I was going to cry. Because like everyone was like blackout drunk in a gay bar, just groping each other. And I'm just standing there holding like a bedazzled birthday card. And I'm like, hey, happy birthday. And she's like, and I'm like, bye. And I just was like, Amy, no one gave a fuck about my new shoes.
Her WTF is one of my favorite ones I've heard in a while, because I really got to hear a side of her that I didn't know. And I think, I think that's a lot of what people do is they assume everyone's had their own experience. And so you just go, what the fuck? Why was that person a dick? And you're like, oh, maybe they've been like, it's, with Aziz, I'm sure he saw guys like me and you his whole life who probably walked right past him and never said hi to him, or maybe bullied him, maybe fucking put him in a locker.
Yeah,
like,
but then I was with Vince Vaughn and he was nice. That's a whole different thing. No, and Vince is also my height. No, Aziz is one of those guys that if you don't have power he can use, he doesn't see you as human. He's always been like that, and everyone knows that. I've been talking shit about this guy for years, and then he comes out with all this shit, and I'm like, yeah, and I feel kind of bad for him. I don't feel bad for him at all. I'm actually kind of happy it happened. But like, it's ridiculous that those details got put into the world, and it isn't rape.
Yeah.
But he's just like, the reason I wanted him to burn a little for it was because it's like, if you put these rules in the world, like I think there should be legal due process and social due process.
Yeah.
Like legal due process, what he did is fine. And you don't just believe an accuser. Like you're not charged.
Dude, that's one of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way when this whole Me Too thing was believe all women.
Well, he's pushing that.
Yeah,
he's that guy. He's one of those leftist fuckers that does that.
I go, hold on.
And so it's you get burned by the shit that you put in the world that burns men every day.
To believe all women is you can't, because that's to say there's no faltability in women because of gender, that women would never lie. That's their gender, don't lie.
It's the bigotry of low expectations too. It's treating women like children.
Yeah, and it's and I mean, I read someone going, oh, so we're gonna start bringing in fainting couches again?
Literally.
Yeah, and it was a woman that wrote that article. It's a Canadian woman, and it was a really great article. And I was like, yeah, but then I did the research about why women lie about rape, and I think for the most part. You probably can believe a lot of women. Like I wouldn't say all, but
well, that's why we need a better community, because you got to know who to believe. There's some women that are compulsive liars, and if they come out of nowhere and they just say it, your instinct is to believe them. My instinct is to believe women and then protect them fiercely. But like, some women are truly bad, and they want to take down men.
People. It's got to be equal. I said,
of course, we all know that men can be bad.
I said one time, there's got to be an equally number of crazy men as there are crazy women. You can't say that based on...
It's a different type of crazy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because it's like there's tyrannical, there's female tyranny and there's male tyranny. Like, men are more hunting party, women are more... gatherers. And when it comes to child rearing, like women, the reason that they are like almost communist and men are like a lot more capitalist is for a total biological reason, where it's like little kids should all be treated the same and just don't like anything bad that happens to them. It isn't their fault because they're one. But then when someone's 15, no, it's your fault. You know, and I do a bit about that where it's like, you know, women just swarm and protect the weak. You know, if you're out with a group of women, the one having the worst time dictates the night, where it's like all the girls are having fun. Then one's like, Brian came in with a new girl, I'm sad. And all the other girls smell the sadness and they're like, Tina's sad, lick her tears, we're going home. And men, if one man's like, I'm really sad, it's like, get out of here, Todd, get out of here, you're buzzkill. But the opposite's true.
Here, Todd, you're
we're like the fastest man, we make captain. It's like, he's the fastest, make him captain. And for women, it's like, she's the prettiest, tell everyone she has herpes. Where they're trying to make everyone the same level. If you're too great, you got to be brought down. And if you're too down, you have to be brought up. And that's why you're seeing this rise in communist, socialist, equity bullshit, because that's female tyranny.
Yeah.
And male tyranny is Genghis Khan. Like, if you can't throw that spear and kill a fucking deer at 300 yards, we're going to cut your head off.
Yeah.
You know, there's also male tyranny, but it's like, it's got to be balanced. That's why the conservative liberal needs each other. And that's why, like, men skew right and women skew left. It's based on our biology. Like, men are like, accountability, work hard, you get more. Women are like, everyone deserves the same because they're designed for child rearing.
Yeah.
And there's always exceptions, but that's literally why we're on the earth. That's what our biology tells us to do.
There are distinct, and I think once you have a baby, you realize there are distinct biological differences in men and women. Where you like when you have that baby, that I was so fucking disconnected for 2 years, going like,
right.
How do I get into this? How do I get into this? Like,
right.
My kids don't seem to like me. How do I like? I was doing all the right stuff as a parent, and my wife was like, up and running, and then and now the girls are going through getting their periods, and I have watched the differences of like my youngest and my wife and my youngest fight to the point where it's like you're like, hey, do you want to get your own apartment? Like,
yeah.
Now,
like,
I think what has struck me as interesting is that America seems to gravitate to the same opinion when they feel like you're hypocritical. When America, the shame that I feel people levy sometimes is when they feel you're hypocritical. And I think I think that's what bit Aziz was that he was pushing this persona of being woke and being a woke. I think he called himself the woke bae, you know?
Bro, on shows, he's like, make some noise if you're a feminist. It's like, all the men. Like, he's awful.
Yeah, and that's Samantha Bee lit him on fire when she was like, yo, if you're a feminist, fuck like a feminist.
That's hilarious.
And I was like,
you just got stung by the bee, bitch.
Dude, she was, because I have no problem with feminism, and I have no problem with it.
I don't like it anymore. I liked it throughout certain times. Now I think it's ridiculous.
Well, I think sometimes too far east is west.
Right,
and it's
right.
like, but
well,
like,
yeah, exactly. Like, that's what happened to my mom. It's like, feminism means allow women to do what they want. And my mom wanted to stay home, and she got shamed by feminists. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Feminism is like full freedom to pursue what you want out of life. You can be a CEO and you can be a mom. Pick it.
Yeah.
It's not about shaming women into working a little cubicle when all they want to do is be around toddlers. Yeah. That's evil. I think that's legit, straight up evil.
Leanne's 47, and she just now, and we've been married for 15 years, 14 years, just now started finding stuff she wants to do in her life. Because she was like, I'm pot committed to these kids. I had a shitty mom. I don't want my kids to feel like they had a shitty mom. I want to make sure that I am there for them for everything. We got offered a show by Travel Channel, and it was the premise was we would get a set of coordinates, and those coordinates would be a treasure chest, and in the treasure chest would be $50,000. And if we could get to the treasure chest within like 48 hours, then we got to keep the money. But it was like a hard to get to place. And so the whole thing was watching us get. The first one was, I think it was called Treasure Island right off Cartagena. So we had to do it all. We had to book it all. We had to get our flights into Bogota or into Cartagena.
That's a great idea.
And then it was a great idea. Leanne passed. I was like, what? She goes, it was a 13 episode order, no brainer. And they're like, we could fucking bang these out really cheap. And I was like, and it's very skeleton crew. And I was like, fuck. I go, Leanne, we'll travel the world together for fucking 1 year. We'll travel the world together. We will see things that you'll never see in your life. We're going through fucking Venezuela. We're going to fly into Cartagena like Romancing the Stone and get our way on Jeeps and buses and then take a boat out to Treasure Island and probably have to scuba dive down and get a fucking treasure and come up with $50,000. She goes, I committed my life to these 2 little girls and I am not compromising that.
God bless her, man. That's a good woman.
And yeah,
my wife's similar too in that sense, where it was like when I was going through all those troubles, when my agent was like, you got to take down these tweets. And I'm like, no. And my wife normally, back before we had kids, probably would have been like, yeah, you don't want to ruffle feathers, take down the tweets. But now that I'm a father, she's like, keep crushing. She's like, you're a role model and you're a man and I respect what you're doing because you got to believe in something bigger than yourself. And I'm like, even if we're poor, she's like, yeah, I love you. We're good. Yeah. She's like, no, you're a father to Walter, and we're going to have another kid. We have another son coming, you know?
Are you pregnant right now?
Yeah.
Oh, congrats.
Another boy.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. It's like, I have a role with Walter, and he's almost 2, because like she's like the good mom, but every now and then he gets that fire in his eyes, and I'm like, basement? He's like, basement. And we just go down there and just like roughhouse.
Yeah.
We hit the heavy bag, and there's this big ball, and we just throw it at each other. Yeah. And then we bring it back up. That's why the 2-family house is so good, because it's like he's growing so well. Yeah. Like he gets to just be with like an animal, like a literal bear. Yeah. And then my wife is just this caring, nurturing, wonderful person.
I think I was watching you guys make Blue Aprons for a while.
Yeah.
And it was like, there is a very, very, romantic's the wrong word because it'll make it look like, but romanticized when I would watch you guys and I'd see you guys cooking and you guys would both open like a 6-pack of beer. You'd snow ski to get the beer and snow ski back. And your real disconnect from Hollywood, your true disconnect on a Tuesday, the true disconnect in that you don't have meetings, you don't have phone calls, you don't have podcasts. None. You just do what you want to do. You fucking make a fire, you grill chicken, you snow ski out to get the beer, you snow ski back. I was it makes me jealous in a way that I don't think. Like I think I watched you and your brother build a dock last year. Yeah. And I was like, I want like. My life, and now granted, I think we'd both agree when we got into this, both of us thought wait till one day when we get busy as fuck. You know, that's what I'm looking for. Is I would love to have days where I could fucking work all day. Yeah. And then you get them and you're like, okay, hold on one second. Am I chasing my tail? Like, am I missing out on the things that are important? Like, you know, I've wanted to rebuild this back fence for a very long time. And I have never had the time to do it. I don't have time to slow down, go to the lumber store, buy the lumber, figure it out. I mean, that's going to take, 2 days for me to do. And I say to myself, I know how good I feel when I get done that. When your fingertips are sore and your fucking dirt's in your fingernails and it's too dark to work and you go, I'm going to fucking have a beer.
There's nothing better.
There's nothing
man
better.
Can't live on bread alone. You know what I mean? It's like... Yeah. Like my brother is a lumberjack, like an arborist tree guy. So I do that when I'm not doing comedy. Like I'm literally hauling brush with my brother, my blood, cutting down trees with a chainsaw. And like, there's nothing like that beer after. Yeah. And it's like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I look at you guys and I'm like, man, I wish like being around that, like like now, like these days, the Comedy Store, like listen to Rogan talk about it and stuff. I'm like, man, that sounds awesome. Like
it's different than anything I've ever witnessed in comedy. In my experience, the way the story is right now is just it's yeah. I know what you're saying.
I don't miss LA at all. Like this place, the hills can keep burning for all I give a shit. But like the community, it's kind of like the Stanhope that Rogan will reference when Stanhope said, I could quit comedy. I can't quit comedians. Yeah. And it's like, I get that where sometimes I just want to be around good-hearted people that are slightly fucked in the head.
Dude, it's like, look, the truth is that is exactly right. I don't think I agree probably politically with Nikki Glaser or I think Nikki's pretty liberal. But
she's also a woman, which is more understandable.
Yeah, well,
because they want toddlers. They think in toddler form. They're like, everyone gets a lollipop, and men are like, earn your fucking lollipop. Like, there's nothing wrong with differences in and the only reason we even know about what we think politically is because social media is now like everyone's reading everyone's diary.
Oh yeah. I think that's I would never know Nikki's politics hanging out with her.
Yeah,
like the other night I hung out with Nikki for a second, and then I kind of did something shitty, but I didn't realize I did it. But the fact that we're friends, I was like. Okay enough to text her the next morning and go, hey, just so you know, I thought that might be shitty. If you thought it was shitty, then I'm sorry.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, and she was like, Bert, you're the best. Thank you so much.
It's great.
Hung out with Eliza the other night for like an hour just bullshitting. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I love being around comics. It's one of my favorite things. I remember listening to Norm Macdonald literally
he's my number one right now.
Hold court with me, Rogan. I forget who else was in the back. It was me and Rogan and probably Gino from Speedweed.
Yeah.
And he was holding court about Bill Clinton in the most hilarious, irreverent way.
So you got this slippery guy from Arkansas.
Oh, dude.
And he's coming in like trying to fuck everyone's wife.
Dude, it was 10 times worse than that. It was the funniest.
He doesn't give a fuck, man. Norm has no chip that gets activated.
I would never repeat what he said only because I will let them be his words. But trust me when I say... both Rogan and I were jaws on the ground listening to Norm this is right before the election. I have a problem with Donald Trump. Let me tell you something about Bill Clinton. And he's hitting a vape pen. Oh, Adam Eget's there in the back. And we're all of us are laughing fucking hysterical.
Dude, his book is great.
Dude, he's the best. He's the best.
He's the best because he's the way I describe Norm, it's impossible to indoctrinate him. Because that's what I'm starting to realize is a lot of people are indoctrinated. When you're talking to someone about an idea, and you make a point that obviously is accurate, their eyes, there's two types of people. They either shift like, okay, I'm losing power. How do I gain power? Or they go, wow, I was wrong. Thanks for telling me. That's the division.
I'd probably say I was wrong a lot.
Oh, you're definitely not indoctrinable. You're not one of those guys. Like there's guys where if I tell you something, unless you think I might be lying, you're like, no way.
Yeah, I listen.
That's why you're funny.
I love listening to even Rogan one time said he got an infrared sauna in his thing, and he was like, yeah, man, it's great. And he kind of told me about it, and I'm a big sauna guy. Like I love.
I have a sauna. I'm building another sauna.
I'm building a sauna in my garage now. After yesterday, I was at Super Bowl, drank all day, like Boston, 2 shows at the Wilbur, drank into the morning, slept for an hour. Leanne was with me on the road. I was like, dude, I'm building That's one of my thing. But yesterday I was like, yo, I'm going to, I trust Joe. If anything he says about health, anything he says about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I listen to
that
him,
guy's legit.
I listen to him hardcore.
I listen to every episode he's ever done.
You got to be careful with it, because at some point it's almost like then you can lose your own opinions when you're with Joe, because he's like, bro, you got to get off your fucking treadmill. You got to get on the road.
For some reason, I don't, though. It's like Joe one time texted me, he's like, man, you tweet way too much. And I'm like, I can see how you think that, but I don't. I light it up. Yeah. I'm not, though. I just really respect him a lot.
Oh, I respect the fuck out of him.
But it's like, I think like something a guy like that likes is when you don't just always agree. I think he's very curious. Yeah. And so like if he says something and you have another perspective, he welcomes that shit. And that's why he's such a legend.
He's one of the coolest things about his podcast, not to like go off on a Rogan rant, which I'm sure I've done a million times.
We're back to saunas. Don't worry. Trust me. I want to talk about saunas. So keep going with Rogan. Then
he said the first time I did his podcast, I was so used to people being agreeable. Meaning, like, you go on radio and you'd be the guest and you'd say something. That was
Bert Kreischer. He's got a shirt on. Bert, you're great.
And then you'd say something and they'd be like, oh, really? And then I remember being on his podcast the very first time and I said something and he said, why? And I went, huh? Like, I wasn't ready to defend my point.
Right.
Like, I was just like, what? And he's like, why do you think that? He's like, maybe it's you. Do you ever think it's you? And I'm like, hold on. Well, where are we going? And then that moment I realized, this thing we're in, this art form we're in is not radio. It's podcasting.
Yeah.
It's two grown-ups having
a real conversation.
A real conversation. Yeah. And there have been so many times on that podcast where I I've been held to the fire on what I say or why I think that way, and Joe just won't give you a broad stroke agree with you because you're his friend. He'll give you because you're his friend.
Once you're his friend, he holds you to the fire.
And it's
I noticed that. Like when we first were like becoming friends, he was way more like, ha, and then once we became better friends, he'd be like, man, that's fucked up what you just said. I'm like, it felt so good because Sandler's the same way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you're not really friends with Sandler unless he's yelled at you.
Really?
Yeah. You know, usually it's like, oh, but it be, you know, or I can't do a Sandler right now, but like once he's like, hey, what the fuck, man? You're like, you're like, oh man, he likes me.
Yeah.
He cares about me.
Let's go back to saunas.
Yeah.
So, when you built your sauna, like
so Joe said infrared. He didn't say heat.
He. I don't know now. Now one of the other things I've learned is don't ever put words in Joe's mouth because sometimes I mishear things and I misspeak. But I think he's got an infrared sauna. I'm not certain. I was going to text him yesterday, but I ended up getting caught up in a fucking busy day.
Bro, try texting people on a flip phone. This is
I heard you on flip phone.
Dude, full blown. This is it. That's why, like, I don't have any numbers in my phone either. So if someone hasn't texted me since I've gotten this, I don't have their number.
Oh, really?
No, dude, that's why I started from scratch.
Because you were like, just Twitter's all consuming.
I didn't want to be able to access Twitter outside of my home.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, and then also this didn't have my numbers in it, so I'm like, you know what? I'm 37. It's a good time to make cuts. Like, if someone doesn't text me, I won't put them in my phone.
Segura just did that.
Really?
But he did it literally. Was like, I'm tired of getting texts from people that I don't want to talk to.
Yeah.
And so he just trashed his phone number, got a new phone, texted the 10 people he knew that he needed to talk to.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, guys, this is my new number. Don't give it to anybody. And then someone was saying, I was texting him for a week, and he just never texts back. And I was like, oh, is Eddie Ift? It was like, oh, you've texted him Segura for like fucking 2 months. What a dick. And I go, oh, he got a new phone number. He was like, oh, he did? I was like, yeah, he doesn't want to talk to anybody anymore.
Oh, dude, and I also don't want to be reliant on maps and shit. Like now, like LA is impossible on a flip.
Ari, I say what you want to say about Ari and his fucking fear of technology and his fucking millennial wannabe fucking lifestyle. We were in Atlanta, and that motherfucker without a map would be like, take a left here.
Dude, the guy's got juice smarts.
He knew where to go based on his like being in the city and getting to where our Airbnb was.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well that's in Midtown. All right, we're gonna take a right here. I think I can get us roughly closely there.
Dude, your brain atrophies. I'm married. I've been with Amy for 6 years, and like I didn't know her fucking phone number. I now do. She's not even in my phone. I have to type it in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I need obstacles, or else my brain is going to garbage.
Dude, I just was reading about this today, but about getting off something so that it could cure dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh, well, there's one thing. If you're in a nursing home, always have everybody do what they're capable of doing. Like people that do stuff for old people, they make their brain go to shit. Like if they can organize, let them do it. Do not do anything an old person can do for themselves, because that action, that's what we're talking about with the trans kids. You physically act out your thoughts. And so like that keeps your brain good. So like when you wore your mom's high heels and said, hey fellas, and I like knitted sweaters and played piano all day and like banged a couch once, it's, secret time. It's like you're acting out ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk. We got to finish sauna though. Cause like,
yeah, sauna.
So I dig infrared, but I'm more of just a pure heat guy with the rocks. Cause you put the water on it and steams up, and I go 180, and right now it's -20 where I am.
Yeah.
So 180, -20, 180, -20. I do it for like my electric bill is so high right now from the sauning every day.
Really?
That like.
So how did you? What is your sauna? The little box with the rocks on it, the box heater with the like the coils.
Yeah. Box heater with rocks.
Okay. Yeah. But
my next one is outdoor cedar with a wood burner, so that I can because I have unlimited wood because my brother's a lumberjack.
Yeah.
So my electric bill is now like $400 a month.
Really?
And that's like high where we live. So I'm like, it's not that much money, but it's like, you're like, oh dude, this is crazy.
Now how big are your saunas?
There are three bros could fit comfortably.
Because the one I was in yesterday.
I want like 10 though. I want like a sweat lodge. That's why I want someone to build it.
Oh, you don't want to build it? You want to have someone come in and build it?
No, with me. But But like this shit is hard. Like the
really?
craftsmanship of it to build a sauna. Yeah.
Really? Because
Well, I could frame the structure, but the interior, like, you want to use untreated cedar and stuff like that, which I have a guy, Ollie. He has a ton of untreated cedar. My brother can cut down the trees.
Because if you treated cedar, it starts to get toxic in there.
Yeah.
Now, what about hemlock? Everyone says hemlock is good.
Hemlock's great.
Well, is that hemlock's wood, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because everyone's like, I'll get hemlock. And I was like, because I've been going online and I've been looking at these single sauna kits. It's almost like a glorified phone booth.
You don't want that.
Why?
It's too little.
I know, but I'm the only one that'll ever use it.
Okay, can you sit in it?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're good.
You can sit in it.
But what if you want to shadow box a little bit?
And just get some movement?
Dude, movement is great.
I'm going to put it in my garage.
You put water on there, and then you just start moving your arms, and it's just like,
I want to put it in my garage. I want to clear out my garage, and I want to put a sauna in the back corner.
Dude, make the whole garage a sauna.
But then
No, but you got to do it, dude. It puts years on your life.
I did it. I was so hungover yesterday. I drove to this place.
Are you having beers or no?
I can't. I got to do a fucking shoot at 2:00.
Oh, nice.
I could probably have a beer.
Let's each have one beer together.
Yeah, I can. Is there a beer in there? If not, there's some in the garage.
Thanks, bud. I love the height, by the way. What, are you 6'8"?
6'5", yeah.
6'5". Nice. Good for you.
His sister's tall too. We've got another.
6 foot.
Yeah.
My mom's either 6 or 6'1". She's a big lady as well.
I think the garage is open. There should be some in the garage. Thanks, Holston.
Thank you, buddy. What a great guy.
He's really fantastic.
Very thin.
I wish I could just teach him all the stuff I need done. Like, I would love if he could figure out Final Cut Pro, and then I
can teach you Final Cut Pro.
I got my dude. Well, I got to learn it myself. You know how it is. Like, you got to do it. You got to learn it yourself. But like, I end up doing something and then going to Google or going to YouTube and going, how do I export a video?
Yeah, it's like, hello, my name is Gary from France.
Dude, I saw. I won't share that. See, this is me biting my tongue of stuff where I go, I won't share that. I want a sauna so bad, so I've been looking at these kits, and they go, oh, are those not good? Costco?
I got mine at Costco.
For real?
Great deal. Yeah, it's called Almost Heaven Saunas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna text Joe and see where his
Costco, dude. I researched for like 6 months. Thanks, bro. It's huge. Oh, did I tell you? I did Corolla yesterday?
Shut up.
No, but it's funny with this. Yeah. So I do Corolla yesterday, and they do a blind taste test.
Cheers, man. It's always good seeing you.
Oh, I love you, buddy.
I absolutely love you, man.
Dude,
I really do.
Since like 05. So I do Corolla yesterday, and we do a blind taste test for Coors Light, Miller Lite, and Bud Light. And it was with 3 other people, and they all got everyone wrong, and I got everyone right.
Oh, someone put me in a blind taste test with Heineken, and I was like, by the way, I could pick out a Heineken out of forever.
Dude, how about this character, scumbag connoisseur? Where you're like, oh, that's a Coors Light.
Yeah, dude, they did a taste test. I think it was on a radio show with Heineken, and then and the other ones were fucking IPAs.
I love Heinekens.
I was like, dude, I can definitely taste an IPA.
Yeah,
like,
an IPA. There's enough estrogen there to make my cock fall off. I drink IPA though. I'm just kidding, but I think there might be some.
I miss beer a lot. I've been drinking Tito's for so long. I've gotten kind of back. I want to go back to beer.
Dude, all we drink is beer. Like, you would love our town.
Dude, I said to someone
because here's the thing. It's like, we always drink beer. Like, the concept of an alcoholic in Saranac Lake, New York is a joke. Like, I'm taping a special there February 24th, hugepianist.com if you want to check it out.
I'm taping mine February 24th.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Where?
Eliza's taping hers February 24th.
Where is she taping her? Well, she's getting $1 million. Where are you taping yours? No, just kidding.
She's doing hers on an aircraft carrier in Oakland.
Oh, good for her. That's funny.
Fucking insane. I'm doing mine February 24th. Oh, that's Saturday, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, February 24th at the Truck.
Where's that?
Philly.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love Philly. Helium Club's there. Yeah, shout out to Mark Grossman. I like Helium Clubs.
Shout out to Mark Grossman. I think he's promoting my special.
I'd go to yours if I wasn't shooting mine.
So how long, what you were going to say? You're shooting yours in Saranac?
I don't remember. Oh, yeah, beers. I'm going to talk about that in my special where it's like, the concept of not drinking beer isn't there. Like, it's not like if you stop drinking beers, that's when people are like, hey, man, you got a problem? What's going on with you? Did you kill a guy?
Yeah.
You know, because there's a chance that's the only time. And people the currency there is beers, where it's like, oh, I'm shoving my driveway. It's like, beers? I'll help you. It's like, beers.
Yeah.
And it's just so amazing that everyone is just always drinking beers.
It really is. I think growing up in Tampa, I had the same thing. And like my friends to this day will be like, I'm just like one of my buddies, and I love him. I won't say his name, but only because he's been. It's been
you biting your tongue.
Well, he's had some rough runs of it, like rough runs to like epic rough runs. But like he always calls me when he falls off the wagon, and he's like, "It's just beers. It's just beers and weed, Bert. How bad can it be?" And
right.
then next
2 days later,
next thing you know, he's got a fucking tackle box full of knives in the middle of the woods, and he collects knives, and so he'll bring a tackle box of all of his knives, and he'll barter with the homeless with knives. He'll be like, "I'll give you this knife if you can get me a 12-pack or a case of beer," and then he'll just fucking in the woods and he's got some badass fucking knives.
Is he Native American?
No, and he's got money. He just
has that trait.
He's just interesting, man. He likes to trigger. He likes to fucking
Yeah, he just goes for it.
Dude,
he's what's the worst that can happen guy. He's like, dude, it's just beers.
Yeah, I remember one night he was a sculptor. He's extremely artistic, like to the detrimental, I think.
Of course, every artist has some form of self-destructive quality.
And he moved to New York to enroll in his school, an art school for sculpting. And one night I think as all artists do, he saw the futility in it, and he was like, "Hold on, fuck." He's like, "So you're telling me I'm going to be doing this sculpting school just so that one guy can get commissioned by a place to come up with a sculpting, and then I'll go in and do the sculpting, and then he'll get the credit for it." He was like, "He doesn't even do the fucking sculpting. Right. He just designs it, and I do
Welcome
all the fucking..."
Welcome to ghostwriting jokes for people.
Yeah, and he was like, "Fuck this," and then he's like, I remember him saying, "God, man, I want to just get drunk. Like I'm exhausted by this." And I go, "Oh, you've never gotten drunk by yourself?" He was like, "No, what do you mean?" I go, "Oh my God, this is like the greatest thing in the world."
Like a demon.
I was like, dude, go and try to find a drink you've never had, and just go make that drink for yourself all night. It's so much fun. It was my favorite.
Dude, you're just describing like that's so funny, dude.
And then one night he called me up and he was like, "Gin and tonics are fucking amazing." I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Wait, you haven't had martinis?" He was like, "No." I go, "You know what? Tell you this, come in the city. Me and you are not going anywhere. We're just going to buy all this stuff to make martinis, and we're going to try to perfect martinis." And he came over and we were just murdering martinis. And my buddy Ty Rodriguez, who I grew up with, we all grew up together. We all knew each other since we were kids. Yeah. Walked in and sees us getting fucking blitzed on martinis. He's like, "What are you guys pre-partying for?" We're like, "Nothing. The party's here."
Yeah.
And Ty's like, "Pour me one." It was dude. I loved getting drunk by myself. I loved it.
Yeah, I was starting because I do a live stream on YouTube every day. And so I had to quit beers for like a month because it was getting to the point where I'm like, all right, 12-pack and live stream.
Yeah.
And it was because I play piano. Like on my YouTube channel, I just play piano, take requests, talk. And like thousands of people will like hang and just make requests. They're like, "Big Bear, play piano."
I'm on there. I go on your live streams.
You do?
Of course. I go on your live streams, and I've seen you talk about me because people will go, "The Machine," and because I share them.
Oh,
like if
thanks.
you go on, I'll share
Thank
them.
you.
If I see you're doing one, I always go on and share them. I do that to all my friends, and I won't do it to some people only because I'm afraid like my Periscope Facebook fans sometimes troll, and so like my favorite one ever, I go on Periscope and I will find people in different countries that I don't know, or different people doing something that I find interesting, and then I'll share it with everyone so we can all watch it. So their views will go from 5 viewers to like 300 in a matter of seconds. My favorite one ever. I wish this girl hadn't blocked me. Probably 13 years old, maybe 230 pounds, black chick.
Yeah.
And it says, and her thing is about to murder this cheeseburger. And I click on, and it is this 230, maybe 250 pound, 13-year-old black girl, chin in her hand, staring at the camera with no look in her face, and a perfect cheeseburger that she had made for herself sitting on a plate right in front of the camera. And she's just staring at the camera, and it's got 6 followers. And I'm like, oh my God. So I share with everyone, and everyone goes on, and you see her eyes. I mean, this girl was so brilliant. Her eyes barely raised an inch, like just a centimeter, And she goes, oh, hell no, motherfuckers. And then starts blocking. And everyone's like, oh, shit, she's blocking us. And you're looking at all these people going, don't block me, don't block me. She goes, no, motherfucker. And then she goes, oh, Bert, you getting blocked. Block me. And I was like, oh, my God, I fucking love you. Please don't block me.
That's genius.
Dude, she was.
There's nothing more powerful to me and more like attractive than someone who doesn't want more of something.
Yeah.
When someone's like, I got enough. Get out of here, white
She
boy.
wanted her 5 friends to watch her about to murder this cheeseburger.
Yeah, she's like, this 6th guy I don't even know. I'm already on the fence.
Yeah, I'm already on the fence. Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
Block. And I'm watching it happening, knowing the Nazis are coming for me next, you know? I'm in my house going, shh, shh, shh.
Right,
and all of a sudden, the knock at the door, I'm like, no! Dude,
that's so funny.
That I love it.
Did she murder the cheeseburger?
I got blocked. I never saw it. There's
only 6 guys that even know.
There's one girl. There's 2 girls I did. Samantha Galactica and this girl Jessie. They're both on Periscope. And Jessie is a actress in Brooklyn. She is also a hostess. She is, I think, 25 years old. I'll tell you exactly. She does it a lot.
Yeah, you do a lot of Periscope. I do a live stream on YouTube now. That's like my main thing.
Oh, for real?
Because they stay there with the other shit. Like I'll put up my stand-up.
Lily. Her name's Lily. I'm sorry. Her name's Lily.
Lily Galactica?
No, Samantha Galactica lives in Maine, and
Maine.
Lily lives in Brooklyn. Samantha Galactica one time just was like getting morning wake and bake, and I just saw it, and I was like, I hit follow, and then I shared it, and then she goes, it's like the machine. Everyone's typing the machine, and she goes, wait, is Bert Kreischer in here? And I was like,
hilarious.
and I got so excited. I'm like, she knows something. She goes, Bert fucking Kreischer just shared my feed. She was like, oh, fuck. And she got so upset. She goes, I wish I had more weed. I only have 1 bowl to smoke. Oh, my God. She goes, guys, keep following me. I will get weed. I swear to God, I'll get weed. Oh, my phone's dying. And I watched her panic. And it was so real to watch her panic because, she had, 1,000 followers. Lily, I did the same thing with Lily. And then this girl in Brooklyn, Lily, she's like morning wake and bake. Anyone who smokes pot on Periscope I get into. And so I follow her, and she's cute. I mean, not to be rude, but I'm not a big fan of 22-year-old kids. If it would be sexy if it's a 45-year-old mom smoking weed. That's what I'm like. Fuck.
And when she's doing dishes and nipple falls out.
Oh, down blousing.
Down blouse. That's what we talked about last time.
Out of here. But it's cool, this kid. So I follow her, I share it, and she's like, the machine. Wait, that's not the guy that got involved with the Russian mafia, is it? And I'm like,
that story's so famous.
And I was like, oh, you should have heard Kevin Brennan shit all over it yesterday. It was fucking hilarious.
What was he saying?
He's like, no one's gonna poke holes in this fucking lie. Come on, I'm fucking watching it. And in my head, I go, I think if I had been younger, it would have bothered me, but because the only reason it went viral is that one of the first people to watch it was a kid in my class that I robbed, and she wrote, this story's 100% true, he fucking robbed us here, and then tagged all the kids in my class. That's the only reason it went viral. So all my kids in my class were the first 100 people to comment, and they're like, yes, this is true, he robbed us. Yes, he robbed the whole train. Yes, he got away with it. And everyone was like, are you fucking kidding me? I think if I didn't have that in my corner, I would have gotten offensive, but I was laughing and he's like, no one's gonna poke fucking holes in this. And I think I've always been waiting for someone to say that, going, this is bullshit.
That happens to me with piano. They go, he's not really playing the piano.
Yeah. You're like, come on.
They're like, that's a music track. He can't play Beethoven. Look at him. He's retarded.
Dude, and then Kevin goes, so what are you drinking now? I said, no, I'm not drinking that much lately because I'm working on my new special. And he goes, oh yeah, what's the new special? I said, I'm just crafting a bunch of lies. And he lost it.
He loved it though.
Yeah, but the same thing happened with the Tracy Morgan story. Is Tracy said never met him, never smoked PCP, and everyone's like, you must be a liar. And at the time I got really defensive because I was like, it's a true story. And this is why I never wanted to say it on stage, because I knew he wouldn't remember me. This is why I wanted to be in control of it, because I didn't want this to happen. But now I look at it and I go, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
Tony Woods was there. Tony's been like, yeah, it's a true story. Everyone can go fuck himself.
I don't even try to control anything anymore. I'm like the Joker at this point.
Dude, it's nice to have a little less giving a fuck about things.
I don't give a fuck.
I envy it.
Dude, it's crazy. It's like, and I'm making money now on real estate, so I can provide for my family Someone could there is no blackballing me anymore.
It's got to be nice. It's got to be a nice feeling. Like, not to like. I always say I kind of wish my wife and I had herpes together. Like, because then I go, you know what? We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the conversation you have to have sex with somebody. Neither of us want to have that. We're here. We're
her
safe.
peas and his peas.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's got to be a nice feeling to be like,
bro, it's insane. It's so nice.
And to go like I'm. It was very nice, and I say this carefully only in the sense that I don't ever want to disrespect all the gifts given to me by Travel Channel, like all the money and.
I always wanted to be on Travel Channel. That was like one of my favorite channels because I love traveling and doing crazy shit.
But the truth is, to be out from under their umbrella, it's so relieving to know that like I can't, that no one can take away the money I'm going to get next week. Like, it was scary. You'd say stuff.
Dude,
remember,
Patreon and YouTube changed my life too. It's like,
really?
Oh my God. And Amy's like, you're always happy now. And it's funny because sometimes people are like, oh, you've gotten angry on Twitter. It's like, no, bitch, I'm just on a different mountain throwing fucking arrows.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like I bow to no one except for, you know, God, country, family type shit, but not like fucking some agent dickhead.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Well,
I can't even picture that anymore. The concept of some being like, Owen, you have to take down this tweet. It sounds racist. I'm like, so you're saying Chinese don't like ping pong? So you're saying that the Chinese people don't play ping pong? No, they play ping pong. So what the fuck's the problem?
Yeah.
Like, you know that they play ping pong. Like, there's no hate in that.
There is a weird, like...
What, ping pong?
No. When you hear from agents and managers, like... and by the way... Mad respect to the guy I'm about to little shit on. He knows who he is, so I won't say his name. But one of my agents, managers, representatives, when Tom and I were going through the weight loss challenge, he called my wife and he was like, this needs to stop. He was like, Bert's got a development deal that we need to focus on, and he's not focusing on, and he's literally pushing it. He's pushing it to the point where he doesn't care. At the time, we were demoing our house. I had gotten fired from Travel Channel. I was on the Funny or Die tour. They killed all my dates. I had no money coming in. I had money, but I had no money coming in, and I had nothing to do for 3 months. And the last thing I wanted to do was be in development. The last thing I wanted to do was hang my hat on another hope that wasn't tangible.
Same here. Daddy's never coming home, man.
Yeah, and
I gotta let it go.
And Leanne's like, you're talking to the wrong person. And by the way, if you're saying this, you don't know Bert. Bert, the only thing that's real for Bert is this fucking weight loss challenge. He knows for a fact in 1 month, him and Tom are going to go on Rogan 3 times, or at the time we're going to do 3 times, and he can possibly beat his friend at something that they're both enjoying.
And that's why you're charming. That's why people like you. That's why I just drove here from the beach to talk to you for a few hours.
Dude, and at the time, I had 55,000 Twitter followers or Instagram followers, and I started doing videos about the weight loss. I started like the whole fucking thing. When I said I was going to quit drinking, another representative said, you can't do this sober October, it'll ruin your career. And I went, excuse me?
The fuck do they know?
And I was like, and they were like, your brand is booze. Your brand is booze. What are you going to do when you don't drink? I go, I can't listen to that. I can't listen to that.
Same here.
And please don't ever chime in on that ever again.
Yeah.
And I did the Sober October.
No, you go, my brand is freedom, bitch.
My brand is me.
Exactly.
I'm a fucking broken, weird, secret-telling, won a marathon
You're a
run.
secret-telling, tongue-biting lunatic.
I'm a mess.
You're a secret-telling tongue biter.
I'm a secret-telling tongue biter.
Like, you're always about to tell a secret, but you don't know if you should.
Oh, dude.
Bro, that's so funny.
There's been times where people say stuff in the green room at the store, and I go, I think I should probably remove myself from this because I will be sharing this with everybody.
Dude, that's so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, and so I think one of the cool things, when I got away from that, and one of the things I love in what you're doing is that, you know, with this podcast, there's no getting fired. I can't get fired from it. I did it for free for so long.
Dude, when Jordan Peterson was on the Rubin Report with somebody, who was he on there with? It was Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro goes, no one greenlit us.
Dude, no one
Dude, Jordan Peterson's Patreon's like $80,000 a month at this point.
What is like? I was trying to say this earlier. What is the kind of person and I think I know the answer to this, but what is the kind of person that maybe doesn't agree with everything Ben Shapiro or Milo Yiannopoulos or Jordan Peterson says, but still really enjoys them? What is that called?
Human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not agree with, like, I'll use Milo because he's more divisive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how
That's
can you?
what he does. He's a provocateur.
Yeah, I fucking Steven Crowder. I
love him. He's one of my best friends.
Dude, I
write
do
for Crowder
not,
every morning.
I do not agree with
write
a
him
lot
jokes
of
every
the
day.
stuff he says, but man, he's fun to fucking listen to.
Dude, and he's not lying, and he's a good guy. It's like he's a Christian conservative from Canada, and I told him, I'm like, the reason I wasn't right wing growing up is because we had, like, the right when I was growing up were the dicks, where I'm like, we had the Catholic Church. I was raised Catholic, and they were being hypocrites and all this shit. And I'm like, you're from socialist Canada, so I'm like, you were rebelling against that.
He was a child actor.
Yeah, and he's a good guy, man. You would love being around him because it's like he has his anxieties and his quirks, but he's like trying. He's like one of those guys where he's like trying to do the right thing.
I get a kick out of all those guys, and like I said, I don't agree with everything anyone says. Like, I don't agree with stuff Rogan says, but I
don't agree with his sauna choice. Like, infrared is not the move, man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I only get furious at people that I think threaten my child's future. It's not like my dad likes socialized healthcare. I want free market. I think I'm right. He thinks he's right. But we both want kids to have medical treatment.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, is your intention good? Then we'll figure it out together. But if you're like trying to fuck up my kid's future and say white men can't speak, and I'm seeing a white kid in my kitchen dancing innocently, fuck you.
That's dude, because inarguably, if that was said the opposite way around, it is immediately racist.
Right. And if you look at like actual heritage, so it's like the left has become so racist against black people that they're like, they can't get past slavery. It's like, well, the Jews came here after the Holocaust and now they own fucking 9 banks. So it's like,
yeah,
you don't think people can get past shit? Like, Koreans will come here with like a fucking knapsack and own a bunch of dry cleaners in like an hour.
How is that? I wish someone would be. It's what
cultural.
I love.
Black Redneck White Liberal by Thomas Sowell. It's like the best book ever written.
What is it called?
Black Redneck White Liberal. And the guy's probably one of the best economists in the world. And he's also black from Harlem. So the left really is not happy with this guy. But like, it's all about culture. It's about.
I need a better audiobook purchase.
Oh, dude, Black Redneck White Liberal will blow your fucking mind. It'll show like why certain cultures achieve shit and why certain cultures don't. Because I'm from an almost more black culture than a lot of these white liberals, where it's like, I get the whole like, you talk shit about my family, I want to stab you now. You know,
yeah.
But that gets you in jail. You know what I mean? And so it's like, there's certain cultures that like. That prosper more than other cultures. That's why a lot of like really successful black people in government aren't from the South. They're from like the West Indies or Africa. Like Obama, he says, Obama, Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell. It's all either West Indies or Africa.
I love Condi Rice.
Yeah, dude, the whole crew.
I love everything. That I've always liked her because this is so silly.
Like Condoleezza Spice.
When they wrote that book about 9/11. I'm
not familiar with 9/11. What exactly happened?
Is this thing the government did to try to help fuck with the economy and oil prices?
Oh, I get it.
But I read, I'm not a big reader, but sometimes a little bit of something will stick in my craw and I'll go, whoa. One of the things they said is they took off on Air Force One so steep that the tail almost hit the tarmac. Like, that's how steep they had to climb.
Why did they have to do that?
Because they wanted to get out of there and get him to cruising altitude quickly so that he's out of range of missiles or whatever. And the other thing they said was when they got into the control room, the room where, that you've seen in every movie, the big circle where everyone sits in a circle and they decide, now what's our next plan of attack?
Right.
This country's under attack.
And one guy has like an eye patch.
They said that, and one guy's got an eye patch and someone, and they said that they got in there and they said, now we're in here. I'm gonna give everyone just a second to call your family, make sure they're safe, and then back in here. No more than a minute. And they said everyone left except for Condi. She just sat there and was like, I got nobody. Let's roll.
Hell yeah.
Fucking love her. I love her.
Dude, that's
I
awesome.
think she's sexy as fuck, too.
Condi Spice?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I have weird crushes on women like Condoleezza Rice. This is going to sound horrible because I have a joke about her in my act now, but I've always had a crush on Rosie O'Donnell.
Really?
Yeah, because I just like that powerfulness. I love a fucking brash, hardcore, like... I feel like I would have always been like, I can see past that, whatever physical flaw you think you have. I can see past that.
Yeah.
Like,
you did just dominant, like just a dominant lesbian cunt.
oh, do you know who I have a huge, this is like a legit crush on right now? Chelsea Handler.
Really?
Oh.
She's just like madness.
You want to know something even crazier?
What?
One of her dogs named Bert.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's hilarious,
I listen
dude.
to her play with her dogs, and I feel like she's fucking with me.
Really?
Oh, Bert, come here and get in bed with me.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's hilarious, dude. No one names their dog Owen. Dude, Owen's such a shit name when it comes to animals.
Who names a dog Bert?
Dude, I could see it, Bert and Ernie.
Yeah. She went skiing and I think what it is, it's a little bit of cult of personality in that I did New Year's, and then I met the girls in Utah, and we went skiing for a week, and it was really great. It was probably the greatest vacation I've ever had with my family. We were off the grid. There was no business to attend to. Everyone in Hollywood was off, and it was just me and the girls, and I was shooting limited stuff for Instagram or fucking tweeting, and I was just kind of off the grid. Except I would follow, like in the mornings, it's my biggest battle in the world is wake up a little early, and then I go, don't touch your phone. Don't touch your phone. The second you touch your phone, you're awake. Yeah. And and Chelsea Handler was skiing in British Columbia. She was skiing in Whistler. And so we were on the same time zone ultimately, and I would see her little Insta stories of like what she was doing, and it looked so cool. And I was having that experience, so in a weird way, I connected with her. I was like, oh, we're both having like cool times with family and friends. And like, I felt like I was on vacation with her, but I just, like this sounds so fucking creepy. And then she was like hitting a vape pen going up the slope. And I was like, I understand, but I'm with my family. I can't do that. Like, yeah. And then I left and I went back out on the road, and she was still skiing. She skied all of fucking January to the point where I was like, I got to start skiing more. And so I went snowboarding every week I was on the road. And I was
I saw that.
I went snowboarding every fucking week. So I was like, yeah, I love fucking skiing.
I'm a cross country guy.
Dude, I want to go cross country skiing so fucking bad after watching your videos.
I go every single day. Like
you talked about it was the reason you lost weight, right?
Yeah, it's because I was a fat kid doing a paper route and I passed out because I was so fat. And how
fat were you?
I was just fat as fuck. I was a big dog that hadn't grown as out. The paws were big, but and so the pediatrician actually told me that I had to lose weight. So we started cross country skiing. My mom took me every day, and she got a dog that was a runaway, and we did that for 15 years,
Really?
And then the dog died, but still, I wrote it a lot better in the post. Now I'm explaining it right now.
Oh, that's right. That's where I must have read about that.
Yeah, because I took a picture because I live right next to this whole thing that's it's lit at night with like light bulbs, and it's just acres and acres of cross country trails because like the high school kids all like do cross country skiing where I live, and it's just gorgeous and it's groomed every day and it's free, and I can put on my skis in my garage and just not take them off and just get right into the wilderness.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and I put my little man behind me, like I strap him into this like little chariot thing, and one of his only words he knew was more, and so he'd just say more, and it was like my trainer. He's like, more, and I'm like, eye of the tiger, and I just get exhausted, but it was great. And then I'd hit the sauna. I'd fire it up before I'd leave, so by the time I got back, I was just baking in there.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
And then that's when I listened to pods and just like drink a ton of water, and then made love to my beautiful wife. Now we have another boy on the way. It's real shit life.
Someone said to me the other day, I was saying, I don't know. Who did I podcast with yesterday? Zane Lamprey. You know Zane? No. He's great. He's really great. He's a guy like you that I think is he's an out of the box thinker. I think with him, it's less social stuff and it's more business. I think he got frustrated.
My business sense sucks.
His business sense is fucking on point.
Sweet.
He was just got kind of fucked around by the business. I think he had a show that was successful, most in part because it was one of the first two HD channels. It was called Three Sheets. It was him going around the world drinking.
Oh, I think I heard about this guy.
Oh, dude, it was huge. It was like one of the biggest shows.
Yeah, I heard about this guy.
And then
was he on your podcast?
Yeah.
That's where I heard it.
And then he kickstarted one called Chug, where he went around in trains and drank around the world, and it funded, and he released it, and it sold. And then he was like, I think I'm out of television or making television. I think I want to make a brand. So he made this drinking jacket, and it sold crazy. And then he made this adventure jacket. Then it sold the biggest piece of design item ever on Kickstarter, like $1.7 million he raised.
Holy shit.
And then he was like, fuck it, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep doing these. I'm going to keep making television I want.
I want to get his jacket.
I'll get you one. He's great. He's a great guy. But he's like you in the sense, but I said to him, we were talking about, life goals and plans, and I said, I don't know, I kind of want to get another house. I want to get a bigger house. Only because we don't have enough space here. And then he was like, where? And I was like, I don't know. We've been looking a little bit. And he goes, LA? Like said it to me like, you really thinking about staying here? And part of me was like, yeah, what do I need to be in LA for?
Bro, it's a lie. Like the weather's great and the community's great, but it's like, see, one of the reasons I think I suck at business is because I'm good at seeing a ton of currencies. Like people get obsessed with money where they're like, and I like money. Money is labor. You can do labor and save it, which is an unbelievable concept. But like time is a currency. Like physical resources is a currency. Like respect, community, health.
Time is a currency.
Time is the ultimate currency. Yeah. That's why there's so many of the richest people I know. I do that bit about like my friend is worth $100 million. And I'm like, let's hang out. He's like, I got to work. I'm like, dude, you won. You tap out. Every time I hit 10K, I tap out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I want a legacy. I'm like, dude, Julius Caesar took over the whole world and he got a salad. Bail. Because at that point, you become almost like a hoarder where it's like, no, like figure out what you want. That's why Jordan Peterson's such a legend because he's like, figure out what you want, design your life, and then just do that. And family to me is a huge currency. And my brother just had his third child, who was a boy, right as I did, and he lives in this town in the middle of nowhere. And so I'm like, we're coming. Fuck it, dude. What's the point of getting money without freedom? There's no point. What do? I buy more shoes? I don't give a fuck about shoes.
Dude,
this shirt is $10. I look like a fucking pumpkin.
You're fucking so I don't give a fuck about shoes, and for some reason, I think it's probably a dopamine search. I have a ton of fucking shoes right now.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's like
I have
me
none,
looking.
dude. I have my only dress shoes. I found out they don't match, because I was in like Nordstrom rack. And I was like, oh, these are dope. And then my wife pointed out, she's like, those aren't the same shoes. Like one has like stitches on the sole and the other doesn't. I'm like, no way. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll just make you more money now, I guess.
It's so funny because if you had told me, I remember hearing, I had a guy that I was friends with that was a successful comedian when I was younger. And I remember hearing what he made a week, and I was like, whoa, if I made that, I'd be fucking set. And now I'm making more money than he makes, and I'm like, and I'm still chasing the fucking
It's called the
carrot.
hedonic treadmill. Heroin addicts also experience that. It's called chasing the dragon.
Okay, let's talk. Yeah, by the way, I definitely have called chasing the dragon exactly what I'm doing in this business.
Oh, dude, you never get the dragon.
But okay. Argue the point: chasing the dragon versus raking hay while the sun shines, making hay while the sun shines.
What does that mean?
The theory that
strike while the metal's hot.
Yeah, you only get a finite time in this business. Maybe if you're lucky, you get like 5 years of a good run.
No, but you're free though.
Yeah,
it's like you have freedom. Like you can literally. What I've been doing ever since like I got so much. I lost my agent. I got blackballed. Great. So now I just rent fucking theaters and just do those.
They say
here's $2,000. Give me the theater and I'll fill it and make the rest of the money. Done.
Bertcast said that the best way to make money in this business is four-wall your own theaters.
I might buy my own theater. My dream now is to start my own comedy channel, like just on the internet, and just for people that don't fit into the whole like as a black, white, left-handed lesbian fucking abuse victim, this is the chicken crossed the road because of oppression, like that, all that garbage, where it's just like, I want to just own a theater and just have people really funny perform there, and we shoot specials and put it for people cheap, and they can own their own fucking special.
Well, the real, I mean, the way I look at this business, and I think I have a pretty insightful perspective these days. I think more so than I ever have is, and I don't have the resources to do this yet, but this is the direction I'm going, is kind of where Rogan's taking it. Rogan's got his compound, and he's got his podcast studio, he's got his gym, he's got his archery.
He won. Like, he's doing it exactly right.
And it's and by the way, I think people sniff out that independence, that honesty, that integrity,
Yeah.
and go, yeah, I want to be more like that. And I don't think I would do, in the direction Rogan's going, I don't think I care enough about
Archery,
fitness or archery. Like the podcast, like we've talked a lot about trying to buy a warehouse and set it up so that I can have a green screen. I can shoot all the videos I want to shoot. I can be creative, have a small team where you go in every morning, you go, here's what we do today. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
do that
we're
right
shooting.
now. Here's the thing that suffocates people: the fact when they really realize they can actually do what they want.
I can do what I want, and I think I'm set up to do what I want right now. But it's on such a
that's
small
what Crowder
scale.
does. I'm not even going to say what state he's in because he's on ISIS's hit list.
Really?
Oh yeah, he painted Muhammad in human shit, but because he's hilarious.
Yeah, he really is. He really is doing his own.
Oh yeah, but it's funny.
No exec would have greenlit that at all.
No, but it's fucking funny. So anyway, he like has his family and his close friends, and they just like, I did a sketch with him where I wrote it, where I was Jimmy Fallon interviewing Stalin, and he was Stalin, I was Fallon. We had it looking better than an SNL sketch that day. They built the stage. His mom did the costumes.
Yeah,
I was
but
like,
what's his overhead? He's probably in a state where you can get a fucking warehouse for pretty cheap.
Totally. But it's like the internet doesn't care where you are. The reason LA is because of sunshine.
Yeah.
It's before lights were invented. It was because they wanted to have no roofs, like the Warner Brothers and all these guys, so that they can shoot shit. Now we have a bigger distribution mechanism in our pocket and fucking a 4K phone. It's like, it's done.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're falling and they don't even see it. And that's why, like, I didn't even want an agent. Like, part of me was like, I thought it was funny when my agent was like, you're real problematic. I'm like, bitch, have you heard of email? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
You're just a guy telling me not to be myself. Where as soon as I start playing classical music and roar like a bear, because that's the irony of me that makes it funny, is like I'm a classically trained musician with a freakishly high IQ, and I'm a fucking psycho. So people are like, oh, okay, he's got a genius IQ and he can play classical music by ear the first time he hears it, and he just called someone a cunt. That's funny. I'll watch this and pay that money. And it's like, okay, so what the fuck do you think I should do? I should go beg the CW to give me fucking 30 grand so they can tell me my idea sucks? No.
Yeah.
Bye. If you heard of Vimeo, I'll produce some shit and sell it on Vimeo for $10 and keep 9.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Is that what you did with the last special?
Yeah.
Feed the Bear?
Yeah.
Where did you shoot that?
I shot in Manchester, England.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because I did a tour with the Impractical Jokers there where I opened for them in stadiums. So it was like 12,000 seaters a night. Like we did the O2 Arena 4 times. Like where that terrorist attack was, I performed there.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like I got tight with all these, with all the UK people. And so everyone kept telling me to come back. So I did a tour, and then some dude gave me like this awesome guy. I'm still friends with him because I was crowdfunding a special, and this Scottish guy just won the lottery. So he's like, fucking Owen, here's fucking what you need, man. And so he just gave me all his cash. I'm like, all right, I got to shoot it somewhere where you can go. And because he was trying to get to my Glasgow show, but it was sold out. And he's like, man, talk about not caring about currency. This guy is dialed in.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to go to your show, and I couldn't fucking get tickets. I'm like, bro, I'll get you a recliner. So I got him a recliner. and then we taped it in Manchester. And it sold great. And fucking fuck it.
And you put it online? Did you put it on Vimeo?
Vimeo on my web, just off my website. And then I'm doing another one. I'm going to do the same thing.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, because I shot one like over 3 years ago with Comedy Dynamics. They did New Wave.
Oh, Brian Volkweis.
Yeah, and they sat on it for years, and it finally came out this week, and I don't even give a fuck about it. I'm like referring to my wife, who's my girlfriend.
Where did it come out?
like iTunes and Amazon and all that shit, but I don't
Really?
get a cut of it, so fuck them.
Oh, you don't get a cut of it at all.
No, they
See, that's
just
the
pay me up
fucked up
front.
thing. I was thinking about.
Why would I promote that? It's like they sat on it. Dude, they changed the way I saw the world because I was like, I'll give you back the money you give me. Can I have my jokes back? Because I couldn't legally do it anymore. And then I was like, oh, money doesn't even matter. You guys are like Smog the Dragon sitting on my treasure now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will never give anyone my jokes ever again.
I have a problem. I have a little bit of a problem with this. I think it's that special. No, maybe it's this special where I did it Comfortably Dumb, and it went on.
Great title.
I loved it. My buddy Eddie and
I love Pink Floyd too.
Oh, I did it, and I had some really great jokes in there, and I'm thinking about doing a thing. I thought of this last night. In the midst of a panic attack. Just where you wake up and you're like, I'm doing everything fucking wrong.
Right.
And by the way, shout out to my representative, one of my managers, Reg, who called me today and was very complimentary of my act, which that's what I was scared of. I was like, I'm fucking talking about my family too much. And then he was like, no, it's fucking perfect. But stop saying the word.
Reg is a smart man.
Yeah. And so
He said stop saying what?
Stop saying cunt so much.
Dude, I've spent too much time in Scotland, bro.
Dude, see, my theory
Dude,
is...
everyone says cunt in Scotland. It means you're like friends with them. They're like, you're a funny cunt. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I am. And then I come here and everyone's like, you're problematic. Do you want some soy? And I'm like, I don't want my cock to fall off.
I'll talk it out with you and see if I can find something new. I won't tell you the joke part of it, but my theory that leads into the joke is that my wife said cunt is the N-word for women. And I said, no, you're wrong. Slut is. I go, because when the M-word dehumanizes someone, that's why that no one wants to. That's why I won't say it, because I don't want anyone to ever feel dehumanized.
I do. I do though. Some people are acting inhuman, and I want them to know it. I'm dead serious.
I heard an argument for that going, yeah, when I'm really mad, I want them to feel the worst they've ever felt. Yeah. So why wouldn't I use that word?
Why wouldn't I use all my assets?
Why would I hold back?
It's like if someone's attacking me and I have a gun, why would I punch them? I would shoot them in the head. Fucking kill shot. Dehumanized? Jesus. Don't act like a goddamn cunt. If you don't want to be fucking dehumanized. Jesus.
So please mark that and pull that out so that we can put that on Instagram. I do. So anyway, my point was, I said slut is the N-word for women, and she said no, the C word is the N-word for women. And I said, well, I think you're wrong, because I look, every man, when you hear when someone call a woman a slut, it's almost like you're like, no, I'll pass on that. But when you hear a woman's a cunt, it kind of turns me on a little bit. Like, I like a little bit of cunt in my woman.
Yeah.
And then
like Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, Chelsea. Everyone, Chelsea's been
full blown.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that, and I think that's sexy. I think there's part of that that's sexy. And my wife was like, the disconnect is that you women don't see that as sexy, but that's what we see as sexy. So
right.
Whatever you're trying to emulate as sexy, realize it's already in you. Like, that we already like. And then the joke I say is, there's nothing sexier than when your contractor talks down to your wife because she's a woman, and you get to enjoy him being sexist and watch her be a cunt, and you're like, oh, this is going to be good.
No, that's brilliant. Like, why would you change that?
I guess he just thought...
Bro, women would like that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Is like a lot of these jokes that people want to pussyfoot around because they think women will be offended. I do a joke about how white women are ruining everything. That it's all white women. Where it's
I could hear this. I wouldn't mind hearing this. Where it's just like,
well, my friend's neighbor's mailman's name is Jerome, and on behalf of Jerome, and it's like, shut the fuck up,
dude.
And I'm like, and I'm like, and it's obviously not all of them. Look at all the white women clapping because they know 8% of you guys are fucking cunts.
Yeah, dude. It's the whole argument made that I love. This is where I start going, hey, liberals, you got me back in. Like, where I go, liberals, you want me back, is when you hear people say, no, like the Lena Dunham thing. They're like, no. All the black women are like, fuck you, bitch. we speak for ourselves.
Exactly.
And you,
there is no black community. There's a bunch of individuals who are black.
yeah, and they're like, and you seem to only care about white women's problems,
Right?
Like you don't care about all of us disenfranchised. Like,
No.
How dare you speak for me? I love when I hear that. I love because I go. Part of me goes, as a justice warrior, not a social justice warrior, but a justice warrior. Someone
Right.
who goes, I believe in right and wrong.
I like that.
Yeah, I go. How
Me
dare?
too.
Yeah, how dare you speak up for someone that you're? And then you slam Odell Beckham Jr. for not looking at you. Like, don't you have a boyfriend?
She's a cunt. That's why when it's like you can't use a word, it's like, well, I have a word that's perfectly accurate for someone. Why would I not say that? It's like, oh, you can't say coffee table. It's like, oh, this rectangle thing.
Yeah.
No, coffee table.
Yeah.
Cunt.
It's one of the things where I start going. That's where my. That's where I start seeing red, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you can't
speak on the behalf of a community. You can't say the black community. It's like, well, how'd you feel about Clarence Thomas? I mean, his grandfather was a fucking slave, and I'm watching all these white privileged people like a Kennedy. I'm pretty sure he killed a chick, talking down to him because he made a joke about a pube. He's black though. He's black. Is that not an issue? Oh, it's not black. It's ideology. What it is they want everyone to have the same ideology, so the diversity is in the skin. What are you fucking looking at paint swabs at Home Depot?
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck what skin. Like, when you're actually not racist, these people are infuriating.
That's what I said. You know, I've known Bill for a very long time, and I know Bill's politics, and I know Bill Burrs, who we're talking about. And yesterday, I thought it was the first time I thought this in a while, but I was wherever I was walking. I thought, you know, wow, how cool. And I bet you feel this way too, but like, Bill really doesn't see color.
Yeah.
And if he sees it in a moment, it's when anyone should see it. Like, his daughter's black.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of
his wife is black.
of height.
Yeah.
Where it's like you do see color, but you don't judge a character based on it. It's like, you see I'm a tall guy. It's literally the equivalent of like how, like, height. We don't even think about height. You're like, oh, height. Who gives a fuck? That's how
you
some
would
people
see color in the same instance where you'd see a guy who's 6'7" getting onto a small plane, and you go, this is going to be uncomfortable for him.
Exactly. No one's ever like my 5'8" friend Todd and my 5'11" Fred Gary. Like, you don't think height.
But if you're saying we got into a submarine and my buddy's 6'7", everyone's like, oh, that's imperative to say.
Right. If it's like someone has sickle cell, you're like, oh, the black guy.
Yeah.
Because it's imperative at that point. But other than that, it's not imperative.
It's so funny because I was thinking that yesterday. I was like, I think I'm that way, but I don't know. I can't really say I am because I'm already thinking outside the box. I'm already thinking Bill doesn't think that way. So like, maybe I don't think that way. And then I was like, wait, I wonder if there's the same equal amount of people that say they aren't racist that are as honest as I'm being with myself in this moment. Like, I'm being super honest with myself in this moment, and I will share this honesty with everyone. But does everyone feel that way? Will everyone go out and say, and that's what I think fucking spins me out, where I go, I don't Marin introduced me to a great word that I've been overusing, but he was talking about something. I won't say what he's talking about, but I'm certain you can infer if you do a little bit of math. Because he's talking about a person who's a virtue signaler.
Yeah.
And how when that fucks you up. When you're a virtue signaler, it means you're not really true to your virtues that you're signaling. It means that you are or maybe a guy who likes to fish hook chicks in the mouth.
Exactly.
So,
well, that's what's revealed by Aziz is he's not a rapist. He's just a guy that wants to fucking give you the claw.
Yeah. He just is a dude who didn't get a lot of pussy. Saw all the pussy in porn. All the mistakes we made when we were 15 where a girl was like, where you weren't a threat. Maybe where I'm not saying, but I'm saying like where.
No, I get what you mean though. Like, when you're growing up, you learn based on trial and error, like how to read someone's body language.
When you're young, you learn how to basically read someone.
It's like the known unknown, like that politician.
Yeah, I think
it was like the known unknown. There's known unknowns. There's an unknown unknown. It's like how it is. Like and that's why it's like it's becoming this weird world where that's why I love being married and monogamous. Because it's like nowadays people are like, I am going to kiss you. Is that okay? That is okay. I'm going to touch my own pants. Is that okay? That makes me uncomfortable. Oh wait, are you going to use the claw? You know, you're like, what are we all autistic? Just do shit.
By the way, I've totally put my fingers in someone's mouth, but it's during sex. It's like in a hot sex moment.
I'm not judging it as long as it's not a claw. If you're going to escalate like that, you've gotten so many consent clicks that it like can be hot. It's like when someone's like, oh, I don't want to judge the claw. I put my fucking finger in someone's mouth. It's like, yeah, because someone was like, it's not just like.
What's so crazy is like I'm so sensitive. Like here's my thing. I would never put my fingers in someone's mouth, then finger them, and then make them taste themselves.
No, I'm almost like the opposite of a rapist, where it's like, it's like, oh, so you don't need my cock?
Yeah.
Great. It's like, oh, so you don't like need to fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, no, but I will fuck you. It's like, forget it.
Yeah.
If you're not like really excited about it, it's the same with anal. It's like, I don't get anal.
The last thing I want to do is have anal with someone who's whimpering.
Oh, dude, one time I was with this girl and she was like, put it in my ass. And I was like, no, that's weird. Like, no, that's like fucking weird.
Yeah,
why would I do that? I'm a breeder.
I asked my wife if I could fuck her in the ass one time and she was like, why?
Amy wouldn't even want to. I'm like, the sex is great like this. Why would we want to fuck with that?
Yeah, although someone did shout out to Jen Gowdy in Tampa or in West Palm. She sells these vaginal rejuvenation machines.
Yeah.
And she was like, let me tell you something. They're fucking amazing. Now, I know Chris Hardwick used to have a hacky joke about vaginal rejuvenation.
Oh, big surprise.
He was like, oh, what is this kind of stuff?
Apparently, like, what, with me and my thin penis? Dude's got no cock on him. Sorry, I'll stop. I don't want to cause any problems.
And so, but I remember hearing his joke and going, hold on, it can't be what you think it is. It must be if it's a medical procedure. I remember hearing it as a young comic going, if it's a medical procedure, I'm certain there are women that want it.
Yeah.
And you mocking it as a man really kind of shows that you're not listening or looking into the bit.
He's mansplaining.
And so, and basically what vaginal rejuvenation is for women who've had children and their vaginas are loose, who would like to tighten it for many reasons. Sometimes when they laugh, they piss, or when they sneeze, they piss.
Really?
Yeah. And so vaginal rejuvenation, there's a couple ways to do it, by the way. Shout out to Jen Gowdy. You can douche with witch hazel. That's an old school way to do it. Or they have this machine that they put inside them.
I like to put my cock in witch hazel because when I laugh, I cum.
Yeah.
I've been coming a lot today, Bert.
You should just know I've been coming a lot.
Just to let you know, it's been pretty much a semen fire hose.
And so she was like this vaginal rejuvenation, and I don't think I'd ever thought that Leanne had a loose vagina ever. But as soon as this girl told me about vaginal rejuvenations, I was like, they can all be tighter. And so,
that's hilarious.
And I was like, I sent an email to my wife and her 4 friends going, hey ladies, just so you know, this is on the market. I can get us a hookup. And all the husbands were like, seems like a reasonable price.
Dude, you're hilarious.
Oh, but yeah, Jen Gowdy taught me all about it in West Palm over New Year's. She was like, yeah, I do it. It's great.
Really?
And her husband's like, it definitely is fucking amazing. Definitely fucking amazing.
But is it like, does it get too tight where it's like weird, where you feel like weird about it?
No, it doesn't like take them back to the hymen where you're like,
Jesus.
By the way, I've never had sex with a virgin.
Me neither.
The closest I ever had is I rented a car one time that had 13 miles on it.
That's hilarious, bro.
It's a joke that got me in trouble at a college.
It did?
Yep.
What'd the college say? Were you like, hey, you're being replaced by the internet, by the way?
Yeah.
The colleges are done.
Really?
Oh, yeah. My parents are professors, too. So I got to see this whole process since I was a child.
Yeah. A lot of things. You watch TV, you get zapped out by the internet. And you're just like,
dude, it's game. Like, just listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. You know everything at that point.
Yeah. Dude, that might be the best podcast.
Well, I think that the most...
You don't have any more beers in the fridge, Halston?
I can check.
Thanks, buddy.
Do a double check.
That would be huge for us.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about the most badass like thing to come out if you're a fighter. And I don't think it's like hardcore or anything. I think it's either like super emotional, like Celine Dion, like doo, 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 and you're like crying.
Yeah.
Or like the Muslim call prayer would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Or just Dan Carlin just going, what is a monument? He's like, there's a field of bones.
Oh, you know, if you had Dan Carlin like if you had maybe Dan Carlin speak DMX's words.
Oh my God.
Where is the hood at?
Yeah, he's like,
where is the hood
we
at?
will crush your bones.
Dan Carlin's fucking amazing. I really like him.
Yeah, he's a genius. And it's like, but he sounds like the Joker, which makes him so, I can listen to 10 hours about fucking anything.
Dude,
He's just like, and they look down at the field with terror. And you're just like, Jesus.
Do you know what podcast I really like that is really fun is The Dollop? You ever listen to that?
No, I need a new one
Dave
too.
Anthony and this is a really good one, and I like it because number one, it's a comedy podcast, so
Yeah.
it is funny. Gareth Reynolds and Dave Anthony.
I love Gareth Reynolds.
Yeah.
He's my guy.
And
Gary.
they do a history podcast where Gareth doesn't know what they're talking about and Dave does.
That's genius.
And Dave explains, and my favorite one right now
That's
is
such a good idea.
Is the Boston busing scandal in like the 70s or 60s.
What was that?
Or 80s maybe. I think Patrice went through it. By the way, I'm just ripping off from those guys, but
well, yeah, but you're plugging their podcast.
but so in the 80s, all the money was going to the white schools in Southie. Any white school got money. The state was giving white schools money, and the black schools were getting fucked. And so then finally they passed a law, and they're like, your schools have got to have this many white people, this many black people in order to get funding. So where the scandal came from, they took black kids from Newberry, I think Roxbury or Newberry, wherever Patrice grew up, and they bussed them into Southie. Now these were schools that had like rich Irish heritage, where the people that lived in it was a neighborhood where no one ever left it, you know? And so these kids would go to school there, but their parents had gone to school there, and their grandparents had gone to school there, and all their uncles and aunts and uncles had gone to school there. And they had like chance that this was their school. And then all of a sudden they uprooted these kids and took them into black neighborhoods and made them go to school in black neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then brought black kids into the white neighborhoods.
That's why I'm not on the left, by the way. That's all. Like, people think racism is right wing.
Yeah.
That's all government bullshit. Like, the Jim Crow was government laws.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm a free market guy, because like, if you're racist, you don't sell shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a racist, you don't get to fucking sell anything and you go out of business.
Yeah. And so basically, I think the Southie parents were super anti-blacks entirely.
So they said words that were dehumanizing.
They said a lot of words and threw objects that were dehumanizing.
Yeah, they dehumanized.
But the black schools were actually, I couldn't argue the black schools were just as bad. In the podcast I heard, it sounds like the black kids there were fights. There were definitely fights happening in the black schools.
Southie are like white, like inner city black guys. That's why it's not like, you can't say, like, I do a song, the racism song, where it's like, black dudes with more than one pit bull scare the shit out of me, but a black guy with a cell phone on his belt I trust.
Yeah.
Where it's not skin, it's culture. Like Southie, it's like, those dudes will fuck you up, you know?
Oh, look at this fucking savior.
Yeah, look at this tall,
randomly in the back.
look at this tall piece of shit.
Nice.
Love you, buddy. Cheers.
But yeah, cheers, brother. And so, but it's really fascinating because Gareth's funny throughout it, but then there are points where they stop and start listening. Like, they're like, wait, this really happened? And then it's like, yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool podcast. And they do it about goofy stuff. Like the Rube is a really good one. The Rube's a really good one.
What's the
Sometimes
Rube one?
It's about this pitcher.
Oh, is that on acid?
No. It's about this pitcher who... It just listen to it. I can't do it justice.
I love it.
It's a really great podcast.
Remember Satanic Panic?
Yeah,
The 80s?
Of course
that would
I
have
do.
been a good one for that, because that's not believable if you tell Gareth Reynolds.
Oh, it's so far. Oh, fuck. We missed SpaceX's launch.
I didn't even know they were doing that today.
Yeah, they're doing a launch today. I wanted to watch it because it's fucking badass.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I posted a video. It balloons out of the atmosphere, and it looks like fucking a space. It looks crazy.
Dude, I interviewed the guy that designed the Mars rover.
Really?
Yeah, that guy was fat. He was like the head engineer of NASA. I can't remember his name, but he was fucking great.
So wait, when did you have him on your podcast?
I do a physics podcast when I lived in LA. It was called Surely You're Joking. We had on like Nobel Prize winners and shit. I was like the Paula Abdul.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what's a neutrino? You know, and then like my buddies that are like PhDs in nuclear physics were like, all right, Paula, a neutrino. You know, it was dude. Science is fascinating.
The thing that's happened that's really cool about comedy is that you've seen guys, and I think it's because of podcasting. You've seen them flex their different interests in things, like Shane Moss.
I love Shane.
Shane, I got a text from Shane. I wish I could get him back on the podcast. He's coming out again soon.
He's in a van.
He's where is he?
Well, he had a van. I remember I had him on my podcast, and he was in a van doing a tour.
And then I think he got put into a psych ward.
He did.
Yeah, I think
Why?
so. I think he dabbled in the DMT pretty aggressively, and he was like, "I think I'm having a hard time touching down."
He's like, "Yeah, I've been hanging out with aliens for like a week now."
Yeah. Hey guys, you're seeing them too, right? No? All right, I'm gonna check myself in. I don't know what happened. But he the last text I got from him, he's like, "Hey man, just got the psych ward. I'd love to tell you the story. I'll be in LA. ... And I was like, "Fuck, I'm not there." But he's a really interesting guy, and he's someone that got really into neuroscience and
he's smart as shit.
Smart as shit. And I think what happened with comics is that you'd get these people that were really smart, and they'd whittle them down into being the one thing that we all got, relationships or airplanes and then the more it broadened, I think people were like, "Oh, I'm a comedian, but man, I'm fascinated in cars or jujitsu or fucking DMT or
It'd be funny if it's like Carrot Top is like just a hobbyist of like objects. Where it's like, oh look, I made the frame pun. And he's just like a carpenter.
What would be great is if he was, because I think he is. I think he creates
for
all
sure.
his own objects.
I mean, he's clearly a smart guy.
Like Jeff Dunham is legit into puppets. Like I think he builds them.
Of course, he's into puppets. That's like me and piano. Like sometimes people are like, "Oh, good shtick." It's like, "Oh, I just played Bach."
Yeah.
Like shtick, dude. I started when I was fucking 2. You think that this is a fucking shtick?
I've stuck with it a while.
Yeah, shtick is like wearing sneakers with fucking suits.
I wish I had a hobby.
You have a hobby?
Comedy?
No, you fucking love beers. You love travel. You love stories. You've been really into fitness.
I feel like I'm jealous of like guys like when Rogan got into archery, I was like, fuck. I wish I had found something like art, something just where you like when I was doing leather work for a fucking second, I was like for a second. Have you ever seen my leather work?
No.
It's right by your foot. Just go ahead.
Did you send it to Rosie O'Donnell? Are you like, will you put this on and beat the fuck out of me?
That's my fanny pack I made.
That is amazing.
It's so bad.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
It's so bad.
You gotta play like an old timey flute and just prance around.
And you gotta be the size of Andre the Giant to wear it. And so,
speak of the devil, I could wear that.
I was into leatherwork, and I was like, the one thing it does is it shuts your brain off, like doing yard work, like putting your fence up or building something.
Flow states.
Shuts your fucking brain off. All I watch on TV now is DIY building off the grid.
Me too, bro.
That's all I fucking watch.
You're gonna be my neighbor soon. I can feel it. Dude, never sell this house. Never sell any real estate in LA, but like you could literally for like the price of a fucking condo in Van Nuys, you could buy like half a mountain.
Yeah, I think about that
compound,
a lot.
Bro. My wife,
dude, don't even get me started with compounds,
bro. My wife, everyone thinks that I'm the crazy one. Like my wife, she's obviously not crazy, but like she's the one who's like, we should get a compound. Where it's like, no, we got to get solar power. We need because we have 10 chickens, but she's like, let's get some goats.
We're thinking about buying the house next door to us and compounding it out.
Got to compound it.
It'd be the
dude,
best.
It's how humans should live. And then you get some extended family.
My parents will get an apartment for my parents when they come out.
Bingo.
Leanne's like, we put the podcast studio over there. We do our merch out of there. We have a room for your parents when they come out.
Sounds like someone's tasting freedom, bro.
And then she's like, and then I'll watch. This is when she starts spinning out of control. She's like, the girls go to UCLA. They stay out here. This is where they live. They live in the compound.
My wife does the same thing.
I was like, honey, the girls are not living with us.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna fucking watch them sneak dudes home.
Yeah.
Fucking 2 a.m.
No, that's a haymaker.
Yeah, pool party in the back of the fucking compound.
Yeah, dude, I think compounds are the move, man. I think it's the way humans should live.
I would love to buy I've said this before very recently, but when we went on Johnny Depp's went to Johnny Depp's house, he owns the whole street.
I love that dude.
He's the best.
I just want to smell him.
I
bet he smells awesome.
I mean, probably a lot like cigarettes. I remember I made out with a girl who was from Scotland.
And I had his back for no reason on Twitter where I'm like, I called his ex-girlfriend Amber Alert, where I'm like, Amber Alert, Because I'm like, it's bullshit that he's getting fucking reamed by this asshole.
Yeah. He, all I know is that Stanhope stood up for him. And I was like, Stanhope doesn't stand up for just anyone.
No.
Like Stanhope's a legit solid. He's got a great compound.
I bet he does.
Have you ever been out there?
No, but Bisbee, Arizona, right?
Dude, that was where my compound envy started.
Bro, my lake house is like 4,500 square feet and like has a dock. And it's like not that much money. And dude, like when I shoot my special, like a bunch of the unbearables, like the people that like live stream with me, dude, I'm sleeping like 25 of them in my house.
Really?
I'm like, for nothing. I'm like, just come. I'm like, no, if I recognize the people, I'm like, oh, I see you every day. I fucking trust you. I'm like, dude, because trust is a big currency. That's social currency.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, there's been times when people are like, dude, I can't pay my electric bill. And I'm like, I'll PayPal you $50. Run with it. And then they'll like make me a fucking painting. And I'm like, that's life. That's why people belong in fucking compounds. Oh. Because if you understand each other, you can be like, dude, I got an orange. You got a dog. Let's fucking play ball.
Yeah. I
don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now, but
currency.
It's
I like currency. I like looking at life in different currencies. I think I look at life in the time currency is the biggest one. I think I fucked up. Like I think the time I spent at Travel Channel, the money they paid me was great, and I think it kept us up and running, and it kept us in a comfortable place, and I'm very grateful for that. But the time currency I spent was missing a lot of my children's life. But
that's what men do, though. It's like,
that's what I agree. I agree.
That's like what being a good father is. It's like you don't like just you're the provider. You know, I work all. I miss out on so much shit, but like, it's just now it's like I did make good money when I was on like Sullivan and Son and shit, and like now that I can just do my own shit and just collect rent, it's like fuck it, man. And that's why people are more drawn to my comedy now because it's the voice of a free man. Because that's what people fucking pay for.
We'll take a look back historically in the podcasting. The second Corolla left, I mean, I think Corolla's always been big, but the second he left and you were like, I remember hearing him say stuff that was a little out of bounds, but you were like, he's being honest.
I love that guy. When he was in Congress, I thought that was an inspiring speech.
And he's doing a documentary on that Tim Allen just came into.
Tim Allen's great too. Dude's an anarchist.
I love Tim Allen.
I love Tim Allen. He said a quote on Norm's podcast that it summed up comedy so perfectly, and it's so why I would get shit and I wouldn't stop because I didn't think they understood the art. He goes, I exaggerate to clarify.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. You go big. Like I did a tweet the other day where I'm like, so we definitely want women to vote? You know, like something insane.
Yeah.
And then you see the response. It's like idea sonar where you're like, and then you see what people think. And then I'm like, I finally came to the conclusion that I think if you're on welfare, you shouldn't vote. Because if you don't chip in for the pizza, you don't get to fucking pick a topping. And that's what I think.
That's not a bad.
I think that's what's skewing shit. Where if you get tax money for free, you don't get to vote. But you can get the money. But you don't get to vote.
I wonder what the portion of people, because there are people that use welfare for good. Like you hear those stories where you're like, I forget. I've just heard one recently. A guy he's like on welfare, got off welfare. Like
I was on welfare as a kid. Unfortunately, a lot of people have no interest in getting off welfare. That's the problem.
Is it not? What do you think the portion is that have no interest?
I have no idea. I'm not even into this policy shit.
Yeah.
I just think that like if someone has no interest in ever getting off welfare, you can have that if that's what people vote for, but you can't vote. Like, how would you vote? Like, I vote for more welfare. It's like, of course you do. You're on it. I think the biggest time people need help is when they're at zero. Because that's like, good people can be stuck at zero. But like, you can be poor and just not have 2 cars or like not have fucking shiny shit. It's like, you can't be a materialist and get free shit because then no one likes you. You're like, dude, like when I never had new clothes till I went to college. And like, I used to have to go into fucking dumpsters for cans. And I'm not doing that chip on the shoulder shit, but I'm like, one time I took my buddy out for dinner and he was like, I'm really poor, man. I'm really broke right now. Is it cool if you hook it up? I'm like, of course, man. We've all been there. And he ordered Kobe beef and I ordered the normal shit. And I was like, That's why you're poor.
Yeah.
Like, you think that you deserve the best beef on my fucking dime?
Oh yeah, that's me and my. Oh, that's by the way, that's me and my wife. When we were poor, I remember one time she said, "You're going through Ralph's, like you're not even looking at the prices."
That's what I do that sometimes.
And I said to her, "I go, I'm not looking at the prices." She was like, "You should look at the prices."
Right. She's accurate.
And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "You've never looked at prices?" I was like, "No." She goes, "We're on a budget. Like we can't just buy whatever the fuck you want to buy."
My wife did that with my router. She was like, "You don't need a new router." I'm like, "Who knows?" Yeah. She's like, "You're fucking stupid. You don't understand money." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. And she went through, and then one time she said, "Let's go through and see if we can find stuff on sale or find stuff that's cheaper. Let's see how little money we can spend." Now, I will say that it was taxing going through the grocery store. That it was like to not just go, "Oh, bread," and like keep your mind going.
Which is a currency. You're like, "Baby, I'm an artist. This anxiety takes away from my jokes."
Oh, it was like she's like, "Why would you buy filet? We can buy such great other cuts of meat." And I was like, "Yeah, but filet's like, I mean, look at the price. It's only like $8." She goes, "That adds up." And by the way, I'm looking at the pounds. So I'm buying, 3 pounds of filet versus, 3 pounds of skirt steak. And we saved a ton of money, but I'm not that.
I can't live like that either.
I can't live like when I want
yeah, but
jalapenos.
I'm not on welfare. That's the thing. It's like, if you're on welfare, you got to live like that and then claw your way out.
Probably, I would guess the majority of people on welfare live like that, right?
No, I know a ton of people on welfare. A lot of them they think they like have more kids to get more money, and they think it's funny. Like I like me and my wife, like she was pregnant when we got married, and
me too.
One of my friends.
Secret time. I don't ever share that with anybody.
Fuck it.
I know.
We're all gonna die.
It's one of the few things. There's only two like untruths I've ever shaded, meaning like I've just curved the way people hear what I say.
Yeah.
And it's that and another one that I'm afraid to talk about, but I'll tell it right now.
Let's do it.
I have a gold Rolex. By the way, this is going to let a bunch of people down. I don't know when I said this. I don't know how I said this. I don't know where it came from. I must have been drunk. Yep. My dad gave me a gold Rolex for my 40th birthday.
Nice.
Someone called me on it and asked me how I got that Rolex. And I was afraid to say that my dad got it for me because I was afraid everyone would think I was rich. And I know you guys are all going like, whoa. That's the Will Smith Rolex. I don't know what I said about Will Smith. I do not remember that lie.
That's hilarious.
But apparently I must have said Will Smith gave it to me because so many people have seen it on my watch, my wrist, and go, "Is that the Will Smith Rolex?" And for the first time I heard it, I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, I know what you're doing." And I was like, "Yeah." Walked away. I was like, "I don't know." And then I've heard it like probably 10 other times, and I was like, "What did I say?" I probably said it on Rogan, like 'cause someone probably said "nice watch," and I was afraid to be like, "Oh, my dad," whatever.
Yeah.
So I was afraid people would be like, "Oh, were you rich?" And I was like, "No, that's not what happened."
Dude, just own it. That's what I did with my intelligence. I used to pretend to be really stupid.
Yeah.
And like tell people I was stupid. And it's like, because I didn't want like people to look at me weird. And that's one reason why it's called, in psychology, it's called flooding, when you just tell everyone something real fast. And that happened to me where I'm like, no, like my mom did my podcast once and she referenced that I have a 147 IQ.
Yeah.
And I felt like such a liar because I've been acting like such a fucking retard that like, I'm like, "Oh no. Yeah, by the way, I'm kind of a genius, my bad."
Yeah.
And so then I was like, why would I feel bad for that shit? Like, why would I fucking act like I'm stupid when I'm not? It's the same with rich people where it's like, just because you have a rich family doesn't mean you don't work hard and earn your success. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
It's so funny because it's always something that I've been afraid to, like, people were like, "So tell me what you're watching." I always go, "Oh, I don't want to." But yeah, my dad got
It's
me
like
my
that with
watch.
me and my thick cock.
Uh-huh.
Like everyone's always like, "Tell me about that Foster's beer can you got in your pants there."
Dude, my dick looked so solid in that sauna yesterday.
Oh, dude, saunas are great for the hammer because they increase your testosterone and your human growth hormone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Heat, bro.
I was gonna go sauna before my shoot today.
Dude, one time I was sitting in the sauna, I just got a boner, and I don't get just random boners these days.
I was like semi-hard the whole time in the sauna, and I was like, "What's going on?" Like, I was like, "This is what I'm fucking talking about."
And I once had sex with my wife in the sauna, and I was like so out, like I couldn't do it because I was like, and like some of my gay buddies are constantly getting blown in steam rooms and shit,
Yes.
and I'm like, how? Like I literally am like, what the fuck is this? My heart rate's at like 250.
Yeah. My heart rate was at a solid 134 the whole time I was at the sauna for 30 minutes.
That's fat burning.
Yeah.
134 is killer.
And then I read this thing, and they're like, oh, the average jog is the same as the average moment in the sauna. And I was like, buying one.
Oh, dude, and it's also you sweat out all the poison. It literally makes you younger. Listen to Rogan talk with Rhonda Patrick about that. Dr. Rhonda Patrick.
Okay, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Rhonda Patrick talks about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, they've done like complete studies with like Scandinavians and shit. It literally makes you live like years longer.
That's what I'm gonna do. I spent a lot of time in a sauna when I was right when I met.
You're
Leanna,
a sauna guy. I can see you're a sauna guy.
I'm a fucking big sauna guy. Me and Segura and Ari were in Atlanta for the championship. All woke up hungover as fuck. I think Segura had like 39 drinks, and I was like, we should go sauna. And they're like, yeah. And we all went to a sauna. And it was fucking amazing. I walked out going, yesterday in the sauna, I was in for 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes, my head straightened out, meaning like my everything straightened out. I went, all right, I feel good now.
And you need it in LA because the weather can make you soft here. It's like you need struggle, and that is like forced struggle that your body loves.
Yeah.
Like you're dealing with 180 degrees, and so you're pounding water, and so then your body's like, all right, we're gonna overcome this, get out all this shit, and then we're gonna fucking live forever.
So did you listen to Rhonda Patrick about saunas first?
I've always been a sauna guy.
Really?
I mean, I'm part Scandinavian, so like that culture is very sauna oriented.
Really? Yeah, I'm gonna get so you can get one at Costco's. It's a good one.
It's Almost Heaven saunas. They're unbelievable.
All right. I'm going to get one. I think I'm going to get one this week, get it delivered next week, clean out the garage, set it up and installed so I can sauna all next week.
I wish I was here to sauna with you.
Oh, mine's going to be the size of a phone booth. It's going to be gay as fuck. We're going to have to scissor fuck.
The gayer the better, bro. Dude, the gayer the better, man. Just two guys getting weird boners in saunas.
How is that not some sort of therapy? How is there not some sort of therapy called gay therapy where they make men fuck to get to the next level?
I think it's called Scientology. To get to the next level. I'm trying to work on a bit about how gay guys like are so fun to be around that sometimes you almost start talking gay when you're like in a clothing store where they're like, oh, those look great on you, and you're like, for real? And you're like, why did I just say it like that?
Dude, I was not doing a bit, but I was talking on stage the other day. And obviously I was in Portland, but I was like,
that's where the soy goes.
I think had I been homosexual, I think you're born. I don't think it's a choice. That's my thought. But and I'm sure there's probably a sliding spectrum of what you can
I just
be.
have no idea. I'm just gonna say. I know gay people that say that's okay, so I'm going to trust them. Well, no, I have fucking no. I'm not.
So it's really slippery because for a long time the predominant LGBTQ response was you are born that way, and then they realized that if you're born that way, theoretically they could genetically pull that out of you. They could find that gene, and then parents could eliminate gay children if they had them. So they then said, you're not born that way, it's a choice. So there's two sides of the same coin, both homosexual coin, but some say you're born that way, and that's the older belief. And then younger go, no, you're not born that way, it's I chose to be this way. So that there can't be like an ethnic cleansing of homosexuality. So
that to me is so weird. It's almost like then they're not even trying to say the truth. They're just trying to say whatever is going to benefit them to get more BJs.
Yeah, but my point was, I don't believe it's a choice. I'm sure there's a spectrum of whatever you can be. Like I'm sure that you can.
We're just so obsessed with sex that we don't even like. No one ever's like, oh, dude, I was born liking Coors Light. Or
yeah, I was born liking Coors Light.
Me too.
But like, part of me, I said on stage, I said, I enjoyed gay jokes so much, meaning when you do something gay to your friend and he goes, whoa, what the fuck? I've enjoyed that sense of humor so much that I bet I really would have enjoyed being gay, like just being gay and been like, oh no, I forget the joke I said on stage. Me and Segura come home and I wrestle fuck him in the closet. And I was like, I just came in your mouth. And he's like, God damn it, I'm getting you next.
Like my sexuality is very humorous, but really erotic.
Really
like
erotic.
Everything's a joke, but I come like fucking like a fire hose.
Like my sexuality has never been connected with my comedy because my sexuality is from such a almost like a embarrassed place. I'm not like I don't know. I don't know that D'Elia talks about sex on stage, but he's like or Dane. Dane's like they're more like sex model comics. Like they're sexy comics, you know, like they're like, you know, fashion and sexy type thing.
Right.
I'm not that guy. I'm really kind of like Gaffigan. Gaffigan. No one's gonna want to say Gaffigan, but like I love fucking pussy, you know.
Right.
And
but
so
it's almost like some of those sex comic guys. It's almost like a little overboard. Where you're almost thinking like, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah. Well, I think I don't think D'Elia talks about sex at all, but I've heard
No,
Dane
D'Elia. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about D'Elia. D'Elia is good shit, but I'm talking like Dane gets so like sex talky that I'm just like, you gay, bro? You know, where he's almost like, yeah, so I'm in these jeans, and then I take out my jeans and I fuck all these girls. I'm like, aren't you like 45 and single, like, and you're talking about your jeans and then fuck, like, you're a full blown gay guy.
He's got a girlfriend now, and I watched the left try to slow bait him into attacking Dane.
What do you mean?
His girlfriend's 19, just turned 19.
Yeah.
And I think the left was like, whoa. Let's put this out there. Dane's dating a 19-year-old. What's everyone think about that? And I think enough people were like, she's legal. She's a grown-up. She can do whatever the fuck she wants.
It's like, I don't know. What about all those gay guys that keep banging the 12-year-olds in the hills?
Dude, that is...
That's real, dude.
What's the
And
director's
by the way,
name?
right now, the pedophile normalization thing is like... One of the guys, like on my Twitter and stuff, a lot of what the Unbearables do is just bash these pedophiles that are trying to get like normal status. They're like, they're doing the whole shit where it's like, it wasn't a choice. I'm just attracted to children. Like, I deserve to be in this fucking world. Dude,
No, that's not real.
Oh, it's not only real, it's an epidemic.
Are you serious?
Oh, dude, because that's why you got to plant a flag, because LGBT QAIP, the P is now pedophile.
No, it's not. That can't be real.
Bro.
I can't believe in this. I can't believe in
this. No,
this.
because the argument is, if I identify as a man, I can also identify as a different age or a different race. If Sean King can be black, this guy can be a 6-year-old. And it's all been pushing towards that the whole fucking time. It's like, I'm 45, but I'm really 6. And it's like, if you argue that, then you argue trans and you argue Sean King, and it all falls apart.
How is that Sean King thing? How have black people not lit him up? Is it her?
They do. You just don't get any. You don't get to see it. Black people are like, same with Elizabeth Warren. She's not a fucking American Indian. She's just a stupid, crazy
Who's Elizabeth
cunt.
Warren?
She's a politician, leftist, who says she was 130. I'm not joking. She said she's 136th American Indian. That's what got her a job at Harvard. And there's no record whatsoever that she is. And she said it's because her family had good cheekbones. I'm not kidding. And this is a leftist. And so it's like, she took something from an actual American Indian, who I'm friends with a lot of them growing up. I live right next to Rez, and I played lacrosse. So these people need some fucking help sometimes. And so this stupid cunt fucking does this, and the left is like, oh, how dare you? Trump calls her Pocahontas, and
oh, I heard this,
yeah, and so Trump gets called racist. That's like if like Sean King got a scholarship to a black college. He's white. That's like if I say I'm a girl, so I get a fucking business loan from the government for a female business. Fuck that shit.
Wait, no. Who did? Here, pull that mic closer to your face, just in case.
Sorry, I was yelling.
Who did Chappelle light up in his special? Rachel Maddow, not Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah.
That was pretty. Dude, I can tell you where I was walking when I heard him light her up. Because part of me, I keep my head out of that because I go, I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she is.
I got lit up by Sean King.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, because I did a joke where I was like, if I was a slave owner, I'd be a progressive slave owner. It wouldn't just be black people. It'd be all the people. I want all the people, black, white, cis, you know. I'm doing a whole joke about it's anyone who can't outrun the nets and the harpoons. Like the whole joke is making fun of, what's it called? Prejudice. Because prejudice is good. Like I'm prejudiced against fucking other women than my wife. I'm prejudiced against eating poison. Like the whole, like prejudice means you're prejudicial to not doing something you don't choose to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm mocking that you can be a slave owner and be no prejudice. It's like you get anyone, I just want any slave. I don't judge who they are. And so he starts lighting me up and I'm like, oh, Sean King, you'd admit you were white as soon as slavery came back. And then I got blocked and then fucking everyone started, going crazy. I got suspended from Twitter for a week and then another time for a week. I've been suspended. Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Are you worried about getting kicked off for good?
No, I got to back up. I'm Owen Benjamin and then Owen Benjamin. So Owen Benjamin has like 110,000 and Owen Benjamin is already almost a 4. And that's all I really care about anyway because it's the Bears.
I can't imagine, like, Ari's been frustrated about him getting kicked off and he's just keeps, I'm doing the pick up the girls, go to the levity.
Is he kicked off permanently?
Oh, fucking goddamn it. Hey, we have, yeah, he's kicked off permanently.
Why?
Because he fucking threatened my family.
Did you get him kicked off?
No.
Someone's got to report it.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, he has been in so many fights with people. Like, he just does stuff that, you know, he does stuff in a very provocateur way.
Yeah, he used to be the amazing racist and try and round up Mexicans.
Yeah, and what he said was, I didn't think it was actually bad at all. He was like, I want my records. I want my records or I'm going to kill you and I will home invade your house and kill your family.
That's
which
hilarious.
I guess is, yeah, which if you go, oh yeah, the guys just spent a week together in Atlanta and he gave me these records to fly home. They're right there. They're sitting right there. The ones I haven't broken. And so I keep breaking them on Instagram. I got a good one I'm doing this week. I'll tell you about it now because no one's going to, you'll have already seen it by the time you hear this.
When's this going up?
By next week.
Nice.
And we have, there's one record that he bought that's brand new. It's Black Sabbath.
Nice.
Yeah, Black Sabbath. And it's all wrapped in the plastic. And so I'm going to do a thing where I look at the record and I'm standing outside and I'm like, I was like, hey guys, Bert Kreischer sitting here with Ari Shaffir's records, and I just wanted to point out this one, Black Sabbath, is brand new, completely wrapped in plastic, so that obviously means it must be waterproof. And so I'm going to jump in the pool with it.
That's awesome.
And then I'm going to pull it out of the water, see if water got in, and it won't because it's wrapped in plastic. And then I go, wow, waterproof, and then open it in the pool and leave it there.
Does that ruin it?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
I love ruining his records.
Does he get pissed?
He's getting a little pissed. He bought it's. By the way, it's because he's not frugal. Like, he doesn't mind spending money, but he doesn't like wasting money.
You can say what he is.
He's chosen, I think, right?
Yeah, he's a chosen people.
He's a chosen people.
Yeah.
No, but he lives on, like, he goes, his biggest pride and joy is like, I don't need anything. All I got to make is like $300,000. That's everything for the entire year. My rent's $3,000. I said $300,000 wrong. My rent's $3,000. I gotta make $36,000. Then I'm good. I can do the whole year. $50,000. I can live my whole life. I don't need anything.
Bro, I'm a quarter Jewish, so I have a little of that.
Yeah.
Where I just am doing numbers with my wife all the time. Where I'm like, oh, we got 12,000 from that unit, 44,000 from that, and then with the Vimeo. Oh, I'm good now. Now I'm free.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you're good. Then you just have freedom.
It's very nice to go, my year's covered.
Totally.
And Ari's year's covered after like one of his gigs. I mean,
Is he pissed about the Comedy Central show that it went to Roy?
I think so. I think he's not pissed at Roy. I don't think any of us were pissed at Roy. Segura and I opted out of it.
You can't get mad at black people these days anyway.
We can't get mad at Roy. He's such a sweet guy.
Oh, dude, Roy's a fucking the best.
And I would do the same thing. And by the way, I've
been on like Utah rafting trips with Roy. Like me and Roy.
He's
like,
really.
I've been to Iraq with Roy, literally.
Yeah, and he's a legit. And this
crusher.
Is one of the things. Legit crusher.
Bro, I called that shit years ago and no one even knew who the fuck he was. I'm like, he's the next guy. And everyone's like, you're stupid. I'm like, Roy Wood Jr. will crush with an all-black crowd, an all-white crowd, north, south, doesn't matter.
Murders.
Yeah.
He and this is what Kevin Brennan kept saying about me yesterday as he was trashing me.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't trash Bert. He's a road guy. Any road guy's a legit comic. He's always been a road guy.
Yeah.
It's just you're an alcoholic. I mean, you're an alcoholic. You know, fucking shirt off. What the fuck is that? And, you know, just in the Kevin Brennan way.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. But the one thing that everyone will say to everyone in this business is like, when you earn it from the road, like when you see a guy like Roy fucking driving 5 hours for like an open mic and to a gig.
Yeah. He is that guy.
There's not one of us ever go take shit away from that guy. You know? And then there's guys like, and I'll even go as far as like, you know, there's other things in this business where we look at people who've earned it, like a guy like Adam Devine, who worked the door at the Improv, fucking did the open mic scene.
Person.
Greatest guy. Created his own thing.
He's gotten nicer famous.
He has got, by the way,
A lot of people become dicks. Me and him used to argue all the time, and I've hung with him since he's become a movie star, and he's like way nicer.
Dude, he is. Can I tell you the thing? I've said this a bunch, but the thing that I love about him is that he's now on tour, and he just did this big Iraq tour with Eliza, and he brought his dad. Bro,
he's straight Iowa, man.
He's straight Iowa. He brought his fucking dad. You know, a lot of people would bring like their buddy or their manager or their agent, especially if you're a fucking movie star.
You can see it in him, man.
Dude, and his dad just gets blitzed, murders beers, and
that's why
loves
he's
his
enjoying
life.
it.
His dad's got to be like, his dad came from, like, they are humble, salt of the earth people. His dad's a big fisherman. Lived in Iowa, and that's
where my family's from. Those people, they don't get fucking tricked,
dude. And
they're like, does this shit grow in the spring and die in the winter? Wrap it up.
You know, his dad's like, you got to be like, buddy, this is amazing. I mean, and by the way, his dad's probably my fucking age, but like, I watched the videos of them on this fucking one of these Air Force One jets going into Iraq and or wherever, Afghanistan, and Adam's having a blast with his dad, and you go, oh, that's so, dude, that guy following, like, and people go, oh, social media this, social media that. Following Adam Devine on Instagram makes me happy. Like,
totally.
It makes me happy.
He's the guy where you're just like, I'm so glad that happened to that guy. Dude, because he can handle it well.
Yeah, and he's in Australia doing a tour right now, and he's with Adam Ray, and they're fucking going, and they're doing great theaters, and they're fucking going to watch tennis and partying.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's how it should be. Yes, that's how it should be.
Exactly. It shouldn't be this whole like, I have power now, I'm going to fuck with you. It's like, well, I have an AR-15, so we'll see how that turns out.
What time? All right, I have to go do a shoot in whatchamacallit. How long have we been going? 2.5. 2.5? Okay, that's good. That's good.
Great one.
Dude, this has been a great podcast. I could talk to you forever. It bums me out. I wish you lived out here.
Bro, I've been coming the whole time.
Me too.
No, I visit a lot, though. I'll visit more.
Dude, let me know when you come out every time.
I will.
I think you do already, but please do, because I could talk to you forever.
Cheers,
and I
brother.
feel like everyone should know, you know, one of the things that I think that Owen stands up for, that I stand up for, is you can totally disagree with what he says. You can totally disagree with what I say.
You should know, because I'm pretty accurate, but go ahead. Sorry.
But fucking just listen and hang out and enjoy. We're both comics. We both like the lightheartedness of fucking the approach of comedy. And fuck, dude, you're one of the greatest guys.
You are too, man. And just remember, socialism always ends in genocide. But you can disagree with that if you want. I used to live in the Czech Republic, which, you know, I get it, but like, whatever.
I fucking love you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This episode was brought to you by The Machine.